Hello, everyone.
Hello.
How are we doing? I always have to double check to make sure I've unmuted. Hello, how's it going? Welcome out to episode 46. Sam is coming. He's on the way. We're just a little placeholder there for now until he gets here. Yeah, welcome out, everyone. How is everyone doing? We doing good?
Hey, great. Thanks for asking.
Good. Where's the sarcasm from? What's going on here? Okay, it's been a week. It feels like whenever we take a week off, it feels like ages. I was saying, Dodger, by the way, before we started, that you're wearing one of the coolest jackets I've ever seen. That is got like smuggler chic. Yeah,
it's an illusion.
It's super cool.
It's a rain jacket on top of a cardigan.
What? Oh, I thought it was like almost like a Han
cool.
Solo smuggler kind of jacket. It looks badass. You should sew the fur to the top.
The fur
It's a good look. It's a really good look. Hello. So yes, welcome back after our week off. Sorry to anyone that's coming in that is confused by the time. Because of that, we will try and aim today's episode to be 2 hours 30 to like 3 hours long instead of the usual 4 hours we usually go for, because it's probably quite confusing for a lot of everyone. But I think next week it all gets sorted again. Except for Shayne.
For you guys.
Yeah, except for Shayne is.
Yeah.
You're like this until March, right? Like this is the new time till March.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I would figure I would have learned by now, but I don't know.
I think it just stays like that till March for you. But yeah, everything will go back to normal. Well, no, it won't be back to normal. No, it will be back to normal next week for the vast majority of
The
people.
fuck is going
Sorry,
on?
except for if you're in Arizona,
is
you know.
going on?
If you're in one of those weird states, I don't know how it works in EU either. You know, for the
Hey,
rest
if
of
you're
Europe.
confused about the time change, so are we.
Yeah. In fact, up until maybe an hour before the episode, I was like, oh, we're going to be an hour early. And then I realized, no, it's the opposite way around.
Yeah.
We've only been doing this for about 5 years. It's fine.
I woke up yesterday realizing that there was a world this week where I had to wake up at 3 a.m. to do Toxic Sunday. So, like, time zones are
God.
fucked up.
Oh, no.
Fucking
Wait,
toxic
what time is it
right
for you right
there.
now?
It is, let's see, because I have everything set to East Coast time still, so I don't go insane.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It's 9:46 a.m. Right
Okay, you're doing some morning
Tomorrow.
D&D. Okay.
Damn.
Okay, good
Good
stuff.
now.
Yeah.
I'm in the future.
Yeah,
but
you're in Monday though, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Ugh.
Monday.
Oh, yeah.
How
that's
did this
good.
episode go, Tomato? Do we win?
Oh.
All right. Well, let's see how the episode goes. Sam's sweet. He goes, what's the easiest way for me to sneak into the call without breaking it? I'm like, just by sending that message if you need to come
Just
in.
that.
Yeah, that's it there. All right. Well, does anyone have anything they want to shout out prior to us diving? Oh,
Shout out to Sam and his good manners
Hey,
for
there he is.
And I'll close this guy off.
the boy.
And we should be good.
Sam, we just got done goofing about time zones, so it's perfect timing to show up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what time it is.
So
real.
Neither do any of us. We determined.
Yeah.
All right, it'll fix all self once Sam throws on his camera, and then it will push everything into the right place, whether it be off the camera or not. There you go. All right, cool. All right, so does anyone have anything to shout out? Anything they want to announce or call out to or anything like that before we get started in some Dungeons and Dragons? If not, we'll just dive in.
Actually, yes.
Oh,
Whoa.
I learned that the color purple isn't real.
What do you mean?
Huh?
Oh, tell
That's
us
a
how.
bunch of
Scientifically?
bullshit.
There's
What are
only-
you talking about?
There is no purple photons. They don't exist.
So how do we perceive the color purple?
When
He just
red-
turns around like
when red and
When
blue
red.
photons are
Mm.
together,
they
our
make a
brain
baby.
can't see green photons, and it creates a new color called
Your
purple.
brain made me.
That's
So
cool.
purple is literally imagined by the human brain. It doesn't actually exist.
Isn't everything imagined by the human
What
brain?
True.
about
No,
objectively
Interesting.
in
What
nature?
No,
Shane,
Shane,
curious
it's not.
what Shane's saying.
Wait,
Think
what about
about
like
it.
purple flowers, like from a perspective of not human eyes?
Like if you're a bee or
Like
a
in
dog.
nature, is there an objective purple, or is
I mean,
it?
there's colors that
Dude,
we don't know. You know
I've
how
I've
many
given you the
colors
extent of my
mantis
knowledge.
strips
Don't
see?
ask questions.
Yeah, you definitely give it.
Yeah,
What the fuck is this?
I only read that far on the
You
Wikipedia
keep reading that
article. I'm
over and over,
sorry.
yeah.
I don't know.
I learned this on a TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Shout out TikTok,
Yeah.
everyone.
I understand.
You really put him on the spot, dude. The way Bree asked as well was like to get. She was like, Okay, so how do you explain purple flowers? And Sam just starts sweating.
No, that's genuine. I wasn't trying to quiz him. I'm actually very curious. I want to know now if there's like objective purple that exists.
We
or is it,
delayed
like,
this.
just our perception of
While we all Google it.
Just ask a dog.
No, they see yellow,
Right.
and then that's pretty much it. So.
Well, okay. Also, Sam does have a subathon starting. When is it starting,
Shout
Sam?
Whoa.
Tomorrow.
Now. Oh.
Tomorrow? Okay. And he said it so solemnly. It's going to be great. It's exciting. So do check out Sam's subathon tomorrow. All right, let's get started with some Dungeons & Dragons, shall we? Who would like to do the recap?
Not it.
I fucking
was
knew
actually-
this would happen.
I was actually the
You wanna
first
know
one to
why?
touch my nose. Slash me touch his nose.
How do we know tomorrow?
I knew it was gonna happen because I'm in the future and I already had to do it.
Oh yeah, he saw this episode already.
Oh, shit. He already knew.
Dude,
That's cool. I also...
This is fucking.
Did you do a shout at the end of the episode?
What? No.
No, you didn't. Oh, that's a shame.
Am I crazy that I don't see it?
Oh,
there it
because it's
is.
above the @here's of like what time
He
zones
fucking
are.
he did this one stealthily in the middle of yesterday without anything.
Yeah, that's usually when I write it. That's when I'm just going over my notes and going, all right, just going to post it in there now.
Well, that's helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, my bad. Do you want me to repost it?
It is.
Oh, sorry.
What was that?
I was going to say, do you want me to repost that? I didn't know. Okay.
Oh, I thought he said read it. I thought he was being generous.
Do you want to read it? Would you? I mean,
No,
would
no,
you
no,
like
no,
that?
I don't do that.
No, I insist.
No, I don't do that.
Weird. Okay, well, whatever. It is no rumor that last we left off, we had made a deal to clear out whatever was blocking the road to Warmsteps. Inside was a massive bipedal rhino creature with telekinetic powers. With our camp on looking, we incapacitated the beast before killing it before it could hurt any of us significantly. It was really embarrassing. I actually forgot how bad we fucking beat that thing's ass.
Yeah.
That was really crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
With the tunnel cleared,
I know.
the road was no longer under threat. Inside, we discovered that the creature was not natural to the area and the roadblock seemed intentional. Upon exiting, we continued our journey, now in the Bay of Progress.
And it is the way down towards the Bay of Progress, which there's a different feeling in the air when you gotta go through here. Closer to the Sunforged than most of you have probably ever been. Now we're in the region of where it nests. You pass into the mountain range, and kind of the very landscape that's just on the other side of this mountains is a little rockier. A little bit more volcanic, a little bit more kind of plateauy, almost just like shifting flat rocks that almost look like plates cut together. A lot of grey and kind of brownish kind of rocks just poured together. But a well-built road that heads on its way down towards Warmsteps. Not currently that frequented due to the roadblock that you'd cleared, but a comfortable road to travel on. You would probably spend the next... I think we already did the rolls on the D100, so I won't make you do those ones again for the next couple of days. But to kind of give you an idea, some of the stuff you'd see on those couple of days, the first thing you'd probably notice is the general, you pass through this woodland quite early on after coming out of the mountains, and you would see this great kind of woodland that is just burnt and broken trees. A lot of trees that have kind of almost cut to ash. You can see where if anyone just places their hand on them, you can almost see the brittleness of the trees just kind of pouring away into broken ash, where the wood has just been burnt all the way through. But the whole woodland has kind of stayed upright. Tall trees, almost redwood-like in their kind of their height, but most of them kind of burnt down to all the stalks of their trunks. That's the first woodland you'd kind of pass through for a little while. It seems to have been once a great woodland, but now burnt to a cinder. And then you would pass on through over the next day or so, and you'd start to notice there's less farmland here. It's kind of each of the buildings and villages you'd go past and the hamlets are far more workshoppy. There's a lot more warehouses, there's a lot more kind of mining constructs, there's a lot more kind of lumber mills. It feels more industrial than any place you've been prior. Any of the houses that are built onto these are usually built around industry. The Bay of Progress being a place filled with guilds and workshops and workmen. Over the next 2 days, it will take you to get to the kind of portions outside of Warmsteps. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I think at some point when everyone is sort of together, maybe as we're winding down, I think Andrasa would want to ask V, but with everyone present, really. V, I asked Master Holt if he would try to find out some information for us on Lady Arlington. I don't... Forgive me if this is a bit rude in how I state it. I don't understand necessarily your whole... Are you all right with the vampire? Is that a thing? Do you, that bad? The blood, the vampire? Are you all right with it?
Are you asking my opinion?
It's just, if it would make you uneasy, I would feel bad.
There are many things we have encountered that have made me uneasy, and yet I remain. However, yes, my people, we would view such a thing as sacrilege and wrong and a waste. Consume blood and not have blood within you is...
She kind of like shivers.
I can right. I can imagine. I don't know. I sort of was thinking about it, and I suppose that's a fair point, right? Lots of things have happened that have been made several of us ill at ease, and I suppose what's sort of one more, really. I just wanted to check, that's all. She just looks super awkward, just like sort of like I sound, right?
I thank you for asking. Is it okay with all of you? It is fine, normal.
Right.
Above board, would any of us have known vampires or been around them?
Oh, okay. Give me...
My best friend is the vampire.
Let me check something. First of all, if you want to know about vampires in general, it would be... I would say you get different information based on maybe history, or a charisma history roll, or intelligence history roll will give you different kind of portions of any vampirism in kind of like history itself, right? What charisma representing street knowledge, rumors, that sort of thing. Intelligence representing actual factual evidence in books. In terms of have you been out or around any? I think based on everyone's backstories, we'll wait for the rolls there first, and then I can explain based on the information you know, and then I'll add on a little extra.
What do you say? History? I'll try.
History 21. With intelligence or history with charisma?
16.
21 for Tack.
16 as well.
16 for the two others. Okay.
Would there be vampires in the vault?
Let me check. I don't think there's currently any.
Rollout list.
Was there any during
Well, no,
your
because they
time?
like 50 escaped, dude.
No, but I.
No, teasing.
Could I have advantage on the history since Godsbane
Yes,
did a
you
lot
can.
of stuff with
Oh,
Restock?
shit.
Good. Good shout.
Smart.
I also, Joe, I was curious. I guess this is more of like a world question about like whether or not vampirism is considered like a disease or a illness.
That's a good one too.
Okay. All right, let's go down each one. Okay. Because all of you have different information on this, I suppose. Tack, with a 21 in charisma history. Vampirism's one of those... It's a rarity. It's not quite as common in kind of greater politics and greater noble society. However, there's a general kind of almost rumor mill-esque element to accusing people of it. Or to accuse people of, if they're being antisocial, if they act in a certain behavior. There's an idea of like turning kind of general consensus of someone's reputation against them by doing that, spreading kind of rumors like that. So on a charisma basis, on the kind of on a general person to person basis, it is something that is known about, but not really widely seen. Vampires, for the most part, are hunted. They're usually hunted down and killed. Hyaloma has a history in high politics, which does lead to often vampires are quite accustomed to joining that kind of society. There's an element to it. What you would know with your one OG, and in writing, I mean, obviously all of you did meet the Dampier that serves the Lord of the Last Town. Killian. Sorry, I was blanking on his name for a second. You met Killian who served him. He was a Dampier. Dampiers are still rare, but to spin onto Tomato's question, that is considered kind of an ailment. It's kind of considered this almost mix between an ailment and a way of life. Like some people seek to cure it, especially in the religion of Lux. Vampires are seen as the enemies of that, so they are usually killed and burned. Whereas some people have been known to get vampirism and seek cures. A cure for it is difficult. Dampiers can be cured. Dampiers are sometimes born of it, and you can get rid of the blood. But sometimes they are incurable. It's kind of a case by case. When you're bitten, you can be cured. You just have to act quickly. It doesn't. You also don't just change for being bitten by a vampire. There's an element of exchange as well. They'll feed you some of their blood. To go on to Indrasa with your one, a 16. All you'd probably know about is in the Breakaway Isles, the City of the Seven would definitely have vampires. Mostly because the City of the Seven is just the Seven Sins. And they're kind of, it's almost a refugee for a lot of villainy. It's almost the cartel of this world. It's like this kind of place where everyone knows there's problems happening there. They know that there are dark magic being used there. They know there's a lot of issues coming from the City of the Seven. But because of the amount of coin that it draws in and they pay out and the amount of kind of protection that comes with it, all of the other nations around the area are almost accustomed or at least okay with the existence of the City of the Seven. They don't rule over them. So you know that Daphne exists there. For the Vault, I would say for sure, based on the fact that Luxian religion often hunts them down, but I would say almost due to the blasphemy as a nature of vampires, I'd imagine they get dealt with quite quickly, so they don't do long stints in the Dreadvault. And then for you, Desmond, are you also what you're almost asking about? What history of vampirism in general, or
Godsbane relation.
Just everything Godsbane did with vampires, 'cause that's all I would have read.
So like whatever, osmosis through.
You would know the stories of how Godsbane went down into And spoiler alert for anyone who's catching up on Godsbane, on Godforged. You would know the story of Godsbane and how they're in a place called Wolfguard on the northwestern portions of Verreath. And one of them in particular, Fia, had been hunting a vampire and had discovered someone called Marta, who had kind of taken over a town called Cradle by the Sea, and but she was given it. She was given the control of this town by another vampire. I'd say with your role, you probably wouldn't know the name of that vampire because it's such a vague piece of the history. You'd also know that her father was turned by a vampire as well. And the place of Wolfguard did have vampires. It did have a lot of undead, and often where undead are, there are vampires. You would probably know it mostly as kind of this far story, and there is always this wispy element of it that there was one vampire mentioned very briefly, and maybe not even named in any of the storybooks. It's one of those kind of almost feels like the author never resolved it. Like it's just this point where they never hunted it down. They never pursued that. I lost a little bit of knowledge, and only those who are like mega fans might pick up on it. You know, this is the kind of knowledge that if this was modern day, you'd be talking on forums about it. But it's the one bit of knowledge you might have. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Penwig's writing it somewhere. Like,
I skipped the vampire pages.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, there was no resolution, you know. But yeah, so in general, as a nutshell kind of thing, people know vampirism exists, but it's a rarity to find.
So with all of that being said, we would ask how you all feel about vampirism. Is it normal? Because she only has her own experience.
Did we get the religion check?
Was
that anything?
That was
16 religion.
That was mostly. What was your question, Sam? Was that to do with if they're in the Dreadvault?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that would probably come down the Luxy element on their kind of opinions and Knights' opinions of vampires, which is that they should be smited. For the most part. Dampiers probably less so, as that's going to be a case by case.
I haven't ever met one, so I don't know that I necessarily have much of an opinion. They're not well liked, but that doesn't typically mean much of anything.
For what reason are they not well liked?
Kind of drink people.
Probably for the same reasons that
people don't like
you
that.
find them unsettling. Yeah.
There's a couple cool ones.
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
You know a couple of cool ones, Desmond?
I've heard about them.
Oh, cool one.
One of them's a dad. Isn't that crazy? A vampire dad?
Is that even possible?
If you have the kid before you're a vampire, yeah. You still got working
Some people
bits
are
and stuff.
turned into vampires. Well, that's why, whether or not they were turned or they were born as one, I think a case-by-case basis per person is the same way you judge them as you would anyone else, because people ultimately choose what bad things they do, and unfortunately, cultural differences or no, hating them specifically or not agreeing with them specifically for drinking blood isn't exactly a helpful way to look at things, right?
Well, if only we knew where they congregated, probably make our search a little bit easier. They're like a nightclub or something, a town.
Cut to the opening to Blade.
Just coming down.
The blood sprinklers.
Gross. Right. Well. Just, I don't know. She sounds pretty bad anyway, so I don't imagine we'll be making friends. It probably won't be an issue.
Above board.
Mhm.
I imagine V doesn't know what happened with the tooth gem, and she didn't ask yet.
So
Okay.
in character, when that happened, we had
did V do anything?
guarding.
Okay.
You were
Okay.
She was out of
forgot
eyesight.
that, yeah.
So no one came in because
Outside?
anyone that
Okay.
came in would have been like at risk of being pulled
Yeah.
into it.
They did the
Okay,
ritual
so
in
she
a
may
field,
not-
and then you were
Okay.
like closer to the
Guarding-
camp to avoid
yeah.
anyone coming down there. So you
So
probably
she
wouldn't
knows
see
that the
that.
ritual was done to destroy it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I still do not understand why we needed to destroy something that could help us, aid us against our enemies.
I think it certainly could have helped, at the very least, by some time. But I don't know. I can't really speak for anyone else.
I suppose it was sort of made clear to us that if one of us used it directly, we would be damning ourselves in one way or another. And to hand it over to someone would mean giving them enough power to do potentially unspeakable things. And so if we weren't going to use it and we didn't want anybody else to use it, and we didn't plan on actually using it as a bargaining chip in any way, then the safest thing was to get rid of it.
Yeah. Pretty much that exactly.
I mean, I think perhaps when we find this Lady Arlington, right, we'll see if that was a good choice or a poor choice. We'll find out.
What is, in the context of that gem, what does damning yourself? What does it mean?
To become demonic in nature.
This is bad?
I suppose this is another thing that depends on who you ask.
She looks at everyone.
You don't really, from how I've interpreted it, gain that kind of power without trading something else. Whether it's something obvious or not.
I tend to think that many things are neither good nor bad, right? They just are, and what you do with a thing sort of retroactively almost makes that choice. It's different, right? I don't know that being damned is the worst thing, but it is very different. And I think if you are I've only known Rosaris for about, 45, I think, I don't know. And he's very old. I have not noticed a change, right, in him in this time, but he has changed. Of course, we all change as we move through life, right? So how much of that is attributed to the fact that he is currently in the abyss primarily, and how much of that is his own journey, I'm not really sure, right? So my guess is that if you are not especially strong-willed, and he very much is, you would quite quickly, I would assume, lose your own self as you are right now on the path to becoming something else. But of course, that's quite unknown.
I understand.
It's quite a risky thing, right? Could have quite a lot of power. The more is, not that nice. But you'd get quite a lot of power. And maybe you could control it for a little bit. But who knows?
Having all of that power, but being bound to the hells and craving souls and all of the other variables that come along with it, it would be a very different life.
It changes the path you are on. Certainly.
Not a risk I was ever going to take, for sure.
Yeah. It's hard when there's no list that comes with the tooth gem that says it's going to do this, 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 and this to you.
Right.
But think about it like this. We found that in a couple of weeks of traveling together. Who's to say we aren't going to find something that does come with a bit of an easier to follow pros and cons list down the road.
Yes.
Body of blood is half drained as a way of my people looking on the bright side of things.
Which one is the bright side? That it's half left,
dark
or that it's half empty?
Half drained is the bright side. Half empty is the bad side.
Bad side. Right, I've got it.
It is not.
You're happy that there's half left.
Around here, we just simplify it
Often
with
said to
the cup.
placate little ones in my tribe.
The cup is half full or empty. We kind of omit the dead body part.
Or
If
live
it's
body
more
if you're a
comfortable.
vampire. It's like, you guys are so weird. It's my thing's fine. Yes.
Well, as you're kind of traveling along discussing things, you'd see that over the course of the next day, after you keep resting and kind of traveling on this road, you start to notice a lot more traffic on the road. You start to notice a lot more caravans, a lot more people driving on, or riding on horseback, going between each of the kind of different stationary villages and whatnot you're passing through. But you also pass by not too far away from Warmsteps, almost like a kind of opening to what to expect. You come across this great warehouse where there's a geyser in kind of in the middle of it. They built around this kind of courtyard. Dodger?
Sorry, I just remembered that we were going to make Desmond look like a different robot.
Oh, yeah.
Did we talk about
nice.
Did we resolve that? And should we resolve that before we start talking about being here?
That's fair. You will have I'll say this, you will have a campsite outside, if you will it again, where you could probably do a lot of your prep. That's kind of like, where you're stationing, kind of like you did with Marigold. Which you have a few choices for. But on your way outside, like it's you're still like a day away. You would notice the first kind of portions of this kind of productivity, this nation of design and kind of innovation. You'd notice they build these kind of almost arcane balloons above the geysers to kind of almost warm these crystals, and it creates these almost like hot air balloons. So for a lot of you who have kind of come from worlds where people travel on horseback and in wagons and boat, This might be the first kind of air transport you've seen on kind of a more scale. You can see they've designed these almost like hot air balloon styled flying devices almost. Some of them even just have seats where you kind of fly and you kind of adjust it yourself with these crystals. And you can see this kind of warehouse mass producing them, kind of creating several at a time, building them almost in a militaristic manner. But eventually you would kind of start to see more of the industry. And you start coming down the mountain. This mountainside, this range, almost has a constant slope for miles, where it's very, very slight decline, with occasional just flats. And eventually, in the distance, you would see Warmsteps. And Warmsteps is unusual to the eyes. It is a marvel in itself. It's considered one of the kind of the great creations. Warmsteps is a town designed on discs. They have designed these great kind of almost metal and rock discs that are controlled almost in a way that through magic kind of holds up. It's kind of this is another one of the designs like the Sunforged, which is a marvel of artificer and ingenuity. Each of the discs has buildings on it, and they're like a good quarter, if not half a mile long each. There's about 14 of them going down. Each one of them brings in sunlight through mirrors that kind of like reflect on the outside. So it almost kind of creates this almost like a disco ball, but in a cylinder shape, kind of effect from the Sunforge. But you can see it's almost like several villages have just been placed on these discs. And right in the center is a shaft of just pure kind of magic that flows between. It's like a softish blue magic that goes all the way between. This crystal goes up and down, hemming, keeping the discs slowly turning. A castle stands at the top one, but it looks like guild halls that are all attached to each other in kind of a semicircle. And slowly twists. Outside of the actual discs themselves and the towns that are built upon them, you would see there are small villages that are attached themselves around. It's nowhere near as big as Marigold, but it's decent enough for a town. This is not the capital. And you would see campsites of gathered guilds and soldiers, almost reflecting the current turmoil that is occurring. Almost like armies that are gathering without doing anything. Not quite in the scale of thousands, but definitely hundreds of troops stationed in little campsites nearby, on the beck and call of whoever is readying this next portion of what could be the next merchant war. But for you, as a campsite arriving into the area, you have a few choices of where to put your camp. You can choose to rather stay up in the rocky lips, higher elevation, closer to the mountains, plenty of flat land, a little bit of a further walk, maybe a couple hours away from Warmsteps, walk per day. This comes with, I would say, a little bit more risk of during Bastion turns encounters with some creatures from the mountains. However, it also comes with a bit more privacy away from the town. You could go much closer to the town, like a jagged slope, slightly on the decline, right close to where the town is itself. Much quicker to get in and out of the town within 15 minutes. You can walk there. This obviously comes with encounters that are a little bit closer to the town and guild interactions. Or you could go closer to the water, which I should say, Warmsteps, not terribly far away from the water. There is kind of rivers that are smaller streams that kind of link up with the rivers in the north and the kind of the great lake just to the south of it. You can see some of the streams come over towards Warmsteps. You could go closer to the water, a little bit further away, a little bit more southward, away from the mountains, a little bit away from the town, closer to boggier land. But just in case that's more of a style you want to go for, that would come with water-based encounters as well. So I'll let you guys decide where you want to set up your camp. Where does your move in Bastion settle?
If we're not too worried about Desmond, I do like the idea of being closer to the town because I think that is the best for our Bastion in the long run for people to be going to it, like for shopping or whatever.
They also I feel like everyone who lives in the Bastion would probably be like a town, right? Like we would like to be around, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's kind of crazy for us to be like, you all post up here in the mountains.
Guys, we got a lot going on. You stay over here. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with that. Is Desmond? He's our baby boy right now in this. Oh, you're muted, Shayne. if you weren't talking.
I wasn't. I was thinking. Well, I think. I mean, we could go as close as we need to. It's not like we're in like danger because of this. It's just more of a I'd rather not be here situation.
All right.
And we're also hiding myself, changing how I look a little bit. I'm sure we'll be fine.
Should we come up with a fake name?
That could be fun.
You could create like an altar of sorts.
Desmond, did you pick your own name?
Well, yeah, Desmond's a cool name, right?
No, it's good. I just mean that, like,
Yeah.
that's a good name, and if you chose that, I'm sure you can come up with an equally good, different one.
Yeah, I could think of something.
Also, if you chose your name, then no one's going to be looking for a Desmond, right?
Well, I started calling myself that while I was.
Oh, well then definitely yes.
Yeah. But I could think of something else. I'll think of a whole backstory for myself. It'll be
All
fun.
right, let's be careful with backstories and things. Last time we had two people disguise themselves, people ended up, lots of bodies piled up by a river.
It ended up being fine. Mop and
I
bucket.
wasn't there.
Don't name yourself
and
Mop
buckets.
or Bucket.
Rein
We're
it back a
great
little.
duo. Short-lived, flew too close to the Sunforged. It's fine.
It's easy to get
Here's
swept up.
towards Warmsteps. Do you think there are quite a lot of barrels just around the town? I'm not sure.
Let us know what story you come up with, Desmond, so we can be on the same page.
I'll cook something up. I'll let y'all know.
So, above board,
Excuse me.
costume wise, I'm trying to remember. We had talked about what I'm trying to remember.
What?
We had like found pieces, right? And Desmond was like, I might be able to.
Oh yeah,
attach
Desmond was
these
like, I could.
pieces to myself.
Yeah,
Or
I could change how I look.
do you remember what?
I
What's
don't
going
remember
on
the top of my head.
Because originally we were like, oh, maybe we can go to Shubal and just like
Yeah.
mhm.
toss the thing together. And then Shayne was like, wait, I think I
People
can.
could maybe wait. Is she good at haberdashery? Could she make him a different hat?
In my mind, Shubal's good at everything. But
Yeah, in my mind as well. And then I was like,
A
wait, am
lot
I
of
power
mileage
gaming
there.
Shubal?
Shubal's my Mary
I was like-
Of course she could do it.
I also believe she could do it. I just was like, wait, what if she can't? Then I'm a jerk.
As technically Warforged is a base species, I mean, swapping out armor and stuff is definitely going to help. You can kind of almost implant that onto there. But, I mean, you've got the cloaks that you made before. You still, I think you gave back all your costumes except for one from thing. But you might be able to
I still have
fashion some
mine.
stuff together.
Wait, no, we still have Morgane's because I packed it up and put it
Yeah,
in a
Morgane's
thing,
one I
right?
remember.
Do you want to dress up in Morgane's giant dress? It's like when you get married and you're like, this dress was so nice, I'll definitely use it again somewhere.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I still have mine too. And my Dragon's Roar outfit's still in my inventory.
Yeah, you could.
I thought it was
The
cool as
most
hell.
conspicuous.
Yeah.
look
Yeah, you could.
possibly
I
show
was
up.
gonna say you could
Different,
mix in, some of the clothing from it and hide behind it. But there is also an element of which you would know, Desmond, hiding in plain sight in regards to looking like a generic automaton might also be a factor, as opposed to trying to hide behind a human. There's a lot of automatons. just-
How is he gonna act? Yeah.
Well, it's more so that there are a lot of other automatons here. Just Desmond's design is quite unique.
Is like this is I guess more of like a Warforged rights questioned in this area? Are people going to be asking us questions rather than Desmond?
As in, would they
In a place
avoid
like
kind
this.
of treating him
Would
like
they
an
be
equal?
like, hey, like exactly, like they
Mhm.
would they be
Yeah.
asking us shit about where we got this Warforged or
Right.
something?
Yeah.
Roll me again. It's either gonna be intelligence history or charisma history.
Were there
Desmond, you would have an idea as well, but just for the sake of like the others, if they want to roll, you don't need to roll, Desmond.
any like automatons, warforged, etc., employed in the Gap, like in Steelmain with House Tian?
Yeah, I'll give you all of the general knowledge that automatons aren't specifically just in the Bear Progress. It's just where they're most heavily found. And there are varying ones, right? There are some that do have full kind of lives and kind of control the belief they have souls. A lot of them do have souls in them. Bear in mind, just 30 years ago or so, there was over in Valreath the kind of massive independence of a lot of Warforged. And those were specifically war models. A lot of the automatons you'll see around the Bay of Progress in general are soulless. They don't have life in them. They are designed almost steampunk-like or charged through magic. They are without any being inside. They're designed to be automatons. But there are others which have had rather souls attached to their actual body, like the ones you saw in as Warforged in the last campaign, and other more unique designs like Desmond, which is kind of a unique in itself that it isn't. This is not the kind of automaton you would see. Desmond's very almost synthetic in the design of like everything's fluid, all the motion's quite fluid. It's less built for war, it's built for pretty much everything. It's built like a person. So you'll see some occasional designs that are similar, but like Desmond would stand out enough. But so do a lot of other automatons. So it's kind of a case of it's case by case basis. Some people might show a lot of intrigue in his current design because he's unique. So
I'm thinking hard.
that's okay. I was just seeing if you were doing any of this stuff with Desmond now. If you want to think on it for a second, we have a couple options to go down. We can go straight into your Bastion stuff, which might give some more information and whatnot, or we can go into kind of the refreshing of some of the town activities or the Bastion activities that you have in regards to stuff like Vandal shop, etc., like that. So I'll see which one would you prefer to do first? Would you in order? Would you rather look at your bastions and kind of see what's going on? Yeah, tomorrow.
I also OLG reminded me I want to have a Clarb update.
Clarb check.
Collab update. Okay.
Clarb check. Clarb check.
All right. Yeah. So I guess which one do you want to do first? Want to do Clarb update? Do you want to do like shops like Vandal and stuff and what they've done to change, or do you want to do your Bastion turn?
Do one of the others first since Bree just walked away.
Okay. We'll do if Breeze walked away, we'll do the Bastion.
Okay.
The first thing, I'm trying to say what to say without, because I'm going to be repeating myself for Bree anyway. The first thing I will say is they released the new book to early access to some of us, and I've got it, and I've seen the Bastion stuff. So now that it's now released, they didn't really do much with it. In fact, I would say they pulled back on some stuff, meaning that we can now basically throw way more into this. They took away Bastion points. I'm not entirely convinced what I'm going to do with Bastion points right now, but I'm going to find a way to make them far more useful. For example, at the moment, we'll play it safe to begin with, just because you're going to start to get a lot more. To give you guys an idea, at level 9 is when you're going to get 2 more. Each of you get 2 more things to add to your Bastion of totally new stations. So lots more to come into your Bastion's next level. But they got rid of Bastion points, and I'd like to use them in a way that's more fluent. So what I would like to do with them is let you add to your Bastion rolls some of your points. If it's 1 for 1, though, it might break it a little bit because, you know, a D20 and you can add like 12. It's going to be a bit crazy. But you do spend them that way, so maybe it's fine. So, Bastion points will find themselves being used. We might play around with that today during the Bastion turn. But the other thing I want to do for Bastions, and it's good that Bree just arrived back, is now that we've kind of got the full element of them, I want to evolve a couple of the camps themselves. Some stuff is I'll go through as a reminder, and we're going to knock up all of the gold you get from the Bastions as well, because it is built around it being quite a slow trickle, so I'm going to increase that amount. But the first thing is, immediately now, your mercenary camp, instead of fitting 5 people, can now fit 6, okay, as a baseline. I am going to let you, and this will come up when we get onto the bounty board in a second. When you get a mercenary choice out of the 2, I can give you the kind of the baseline of what that character is as an NPC. Like, are they like a mage, healer, you know, yada yada. I can even name them for you and give you a description of the species. But I'm going to let you guys choose who wants to voice them. You can also choose me if you can't be bothered. But this is why this matters, right? The bounty board. Now, we've got a big, long main plot. To talk above board for a second. We've got a big main plot. There's a lot of side stories like your origins, campsite stories like Vandal and all that lot. Sometimes you won't have time to do a bounty board. Sometimes you're going to get a bounty and you're going to miss it in the section, and you still deserve to get some of the money. So, I'm opening up now, because you have the mercenary camp and bounty board, a kind of game system where you can send off mercenaries to do bounties that you don't want to do. It will cut the money in half. They will take half the profit because they are throwing themselves into line of danger. So if something is going to give 5,000 gold, they take 2,500. You guys get 2,500 passive that week. Bounties will also have resources that can be picked up. If they go and kill an ice monster, they might find some ice materials. And that could be used for crafting. Obviously, if you do the bounty yourself, you get the full amount and also better chances on getting materials. So if there's like a material you really want, or you just need a big bang of cash, it's always better for you to do them. But this is a way of basically sending out your mercenaries. But instead of this just being like an MMO where it's just done off screen and see if there's success, we're going to roleplay them out. So during a Bastion turn, there's going to be a very simple fight system. It's what I would ask you to do is that when I give you bounties, you tell me if you would rather do them, or if you'd rather send your mercenary camp. Because I'm not going to go and design 100 different bounties and then every time say no, because it'd be too much work. So I'll only design the bounties if you guys are interested in going after them. As in map-wise, big stat block, everything. Otherwise, it's going to be done in a very simple way. And we'll get onto that when we actually do one. But it'll be stuff like you guys can send up to 6, 1 for each of you, mercenaries to do a bounty at a time. When you send them, it'll be a very simple system of like, say the enemy might have 10 health. When you hit, it'll be 1 damage. And it'll be like, it will be over within 10-minute long combat. But super descriptive. Like, it'll be more about you guys describing as you're diving around doing attacks. And then, we'll be building a scene to see what the result is, as opposed to actually like full-on fights. So it'll be very quick little descriptive sections to see how your mercenaries do. But that's the reason I want to open up the idea that when new mercenaries come in, you guys can voice them so that you're not just stuck playing characters that I've thrown at you. So that's kind of the little system to get in passive income. If you hear a bounty and you're like, we're not really interested in doing either of those because we're too focused on all of the other stuff we've got to do, you can send your mercenaries off. The other little changes I'm going to add to the mercenary camps, for 2,000 gold, because your mercenary camp is already roomy, you can make it spacious for 2,000 gold, and it can fit up to 10 mercenaries. So you'd get up to 4 more slots. And the bounty board, for 500 gold, you can go from cramped to roomy to get 2 choices of bounties. And then you can spend 2,000 gold after that to go from roomy to spacious. It takes a full Bastion turn to build up the next section. And a spacious, you can get up to 3 choices. So you can be like, okay, which of these bounties do we want to go after? Yada, yada. So, with that being said, Bastion turns kind of should have a little bit more stuff there in general. The other thing I'm going to bring up is, and a reminder of this, is the crafting stuff. Next level is when, under my crafting rules, you're able to make a rare item each. Now, items that you make are going to be based around your what tools you're good at, right? What tools you're proficient with. If you're kind of if you've got jeweler's tools, you could probably make rings and amulets and whatnot. If you've got smithing tools, you can make weapons, armor. You will be able to make a rare item next turn. And if you don't remember my crafting rules, it's going to be a D100 where you have a chance of it upgrading itself to becoming potentially very rare or even legendary if you roll really well. Now, what I would like you to do, and you don't have to do this all at once, but by the end of the episode, give me an idea. That way we can design. Look at your character sheet. Crafting for me is a case of the player having urgency over something that they get to create themselves, right? Be it a magic item that already exists or something new. You could look at your character and go, man, I really need a weapon. I really need a rare weapon. Or I really need rare armor. Or I really need rare shield. Or I really need... I want something that's around an element. I want something around fire, cold, ice. I want something around psychic ability. I want something around my bardic abilities. I want something about my wizard abilities, right? You could go for something like that. Just essentially what your role is to do. You don't have to rush this necessarily, but it gives me an idea. You pick if you want to make an uncommon or a rare item. And a quest will be formed, and I'll give you the idea of what materials you need to go and collect. So it's basically you're going back to forging it. So it's skipping the whole, like, in the way that it's designed crafting otherwise, is like, to make a rare item takes you, like, 50 days. And we haven't even gone 50 days in the campaign yet, or we're probably just about to go there. This will be quicker. It'll be you doing a quest, and getting material, and then building it yourself with a chance of it upgrading. So, when you do look at your character, you'll be making these items for the first time at level 9, which is not necessarily around the corner, but it's still, it's within reach now. You're level 8. You'll get to choose if you want to do uncommon, which will be easier to find, easier to do, easier to gather, or a rare item as a base, with the chance of it upgrading. So yeah, look at your character, see what you're really missing in terms of, like, I really need X, Y, or Z. Or if you just want it to be random, just give me a general theme, and I'll throw material at you. But you'll be given, basically, once you give me that idea, then we can go off and design the quest for it. But yeah, so that's crafting. That's the changes to Bastion. Let's go through what you actually have done. Who would like to go first on their Bastion turn? To see what you would like.
I can.
Okay. Yeah, your one. Attack is... so to start off with, you're growing flowers, right?
Yeah.
Instead of the 1d100 times... Sorry, 1d100 plus 10 to see how much money you can make by selling those flowers, we're going to do it 1d100 times 2, and then you can add a number of Bastion points up to your proficiency bonus to the times. So your proficiency bonus right now is plus 3, I think. So you could go, instead of 1d100 times 2, you can do 1d100 times 5, if you'd prefer that. It would be spending your Bastion points. They might have more use later if you want to save onto it, but it's just another way of spending them. So if you want to roll 1d100 times 2, or whatever, how many Bastion points you want to add onto that, it's up to you.
I'm trying to remember what else we even do with our Bastion points. I don't think I've done anything.
No, so the way it's written in the base thing is... the way it's written in the base one, and they've taken them out of the book, is you can craft magical items with them. I'm kind of going down a different way around that, because they have brought... I will say this. At level 9, they have brought in ways to craft magical items of uncommon and less at your Bastion. But we'll get onto them when we hit level 9, just so I'm not overwhelming you guys. But right now, for example, to make a rare item, you need to spend 250 Bastion points of the old system. So you guys have, like, what, 20? It's kind of like...
I have 19 now.
Yeah, the amount is a bit unbalanced. So I'm just going to find more ways to let you use them. So it's okay if you want to spend them now or save on. It's up to you. But I will find more ways to do it for sure. I think if it's gonna, I think the reason that roll didn't work, just do,
93 times 5.
93 times 5. There you go. So you've just got you plant all these flowers together, and rolled really goddamn well. You get 465 gold worth of flowers. That your Bastion kind of naturally sells. So you could just add in the gold yourself. It's the idea that you've grown these flowers and then they've taken them out there and they've gone to sell them in the town.
Fantastic.
So you see your garden flourishes. And whilst you're kind of seeing them being picked and new flowers being grown and planted, Silas comes up to you, the bard, and he kind of wanders over to you and he unravels this kind of example pamphlet that he's been working in the workshop for you, and he hands it across to you. And you'll see across this like top of this pamphlet and kind of like parchment rolled up is the 6, with the X is kind of turned into clashing swords. And he's kind of create these like silhouetted, with implanted magic into it, like almost like embedded into it, so it kind of glows softly. 6 figures just kind of stood together. And at the bottom it says, they fight, all 6 of them. And Silas says to you, I've managed to make a couple hundred of these. I'm thinking I'm just going to send them down into the town. Have some people hand them out, give you guys a bit of knowledge around the area.
This is our last chance to rebrand, guys. Once merch is
so
distributed,
good.
it is fucking over. So,
Yeah. Tack is looking at it and then looks directly at the fourth wall. How are we feeling, guys?
This is genuinely probably, you're not wrong. After this point, people will recognize you as the 6, even if you change name later.
I feel like we can't change it.
we can't change it. We can't change it. The tagline is so fucking bad on top of it. It's like
so
too.
bad.
If it was
So
just the 6
perfect,
and then
though.
something good, I'd be like,
It's so
Maybe
bad that it's
It
perfect.
might change as
So
we accomplish
bad.
more things.
That's true.
The
You know-
6, they all.
I feel so strongly that at some point it's gonna age like milk, and somehow we're not gonna be able to say they all fight. Like we're gonna have to change it somehow, and I'm
Yeah.
really excited for that. You know,
I know, right?
make it even clunkier somehow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think Tack looks at it. It's sort of hard to read them, and eventually they roll it back up. This turned out really nice.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, I mean, we distribute them out, and obviously you're gonna have to. I didn't go for accurate faces and whatnot, so we just have to tell people who you are, and they might know you. Doesn't take long for these kind of things to spread.
Thank
Okay.
you.
No problem. As he kind of wanders back off, I ask you the question as well. If you don't remember what that does, by the way, it means anytime that you mention you're the 6 in Warmsteps, the first time you do it, you get a +2 to the next charisma check you make against any of the townsfolk. So, however that manifests itself at the time. It's only against one check as well, but it's there as a kind of little bonus. But for each person, each separate person. So, for your actual Bastion rounds, then going into the next week, what do you want to do with your garden? What do you want to do with your workshop? Do you want to change up who's in there? Do you want to do anything with that?
So last time that we talked about the bastions, we were making something in the workshop. Would that have been done now?
That was
Or
the
no?
pamphlets. That was it. You moved.
It was oh, that's right.
You
I
moved
remember this
Shubil
now.
into Silas and then made the
Right.
pamphlets. Yeah, that was the result.
Right. Okay. Yeah, pamphlets done.
Mm-hmm. Get
Get Shubel back in there doing her thing.
Okay.
What's the weather like out here?
It's warm. It's warm because of the volcanic area, but it's also probably a little bit dreary. It's probably gets a lot of rainfall down by the coast. But I would say still a little bit. It kind of I think quite foggy, quite. Again, you're quite close to the Sunforged and where that's built, so I imagine very warm in the mornings and midday, and then it probably gets a little bit colder at night.
Okay. Yeah, I think sort of like silent montage style. Attack and Shugul will talk about trying to make sort of like sleeveless flowing sort of outfits and pull in some um, some elements from clothing that was really popular in Marigold, so that we can sort of market it that way when trying to
Okay,
sell
yeah,
it.
yeah. Oh, okay, so you're making clothing to potentially be sold, yeah?
To sell.
Okay, okay, that makes sense. All right, so making a few outfits to be sold. And then for your garden.
And then maybe food.
Okay.
We got a lot of people here
Okay.
now. So let's
I'm gonna check
grow
something as
food.
well. I think it's up to you. You can spend 2,000 gold if you want to make a. I said spacious before. It's vast. A vast garden gives you so you can grow 2 things at once. So you can have 2 types of gardens at once instead of just one. Because I think it takes a couple of... I'm going to cut this down. It says it does take 21 days to change what the garden grows, but I don't... Again, I think the time on this is way too long. So I'll say you can change it out week by week. I don't mind that at all. But if you want to spend 2,000 gold, it'll be done by the next time. It's up to you, both of you and Tamara, if you ever want to grow your garden. But that's... You don't have to. You don't have to. You can keep it as one type. You can also save onto your gold and just choose down the line.
Yeah.
Okay, so growing up some food. Bless you. Bless you.
Thank you. Sorry.
All right, so food growing and costumes being made to be sold. All right, who would like to go next?
I'll go.
Go next.
Oh,
You first.
Okay. Okay.
Fuck.
So V, the first one of yours, being your storehouse, I'm now going to up it by quite a bit. You can get 20% profits as a baseline, and store up to 1,000 gold. So you can spend 1,000 gold, and you'll get a couple hundred extra gold back when you come back to it, if you want to invest that. And I think I'm going to add a roll on there as well. So it'll be like you get your 1,000 back plus X amount.
Perfect.
So you can knock off 1,000 gold and then expect that back.
Yeah.
But you would see that this week alone, I think it would draw in an extra 50 gold. Just give yourself 50 gold profit. It's not much, but it's a little bonus. But your main one is coming in as a 2 mercenary choices.
Okay.
You said you wanted a mage.
Yes,
So-
I think we discussed that.
Going off of our... And then I rolled for you for the other one of what you could potentially get. And the other option is a cleric healer.
Nice.
So, I'm going to ask you, I've got, because I came up with the kind of mercenary system updates later, I've got a name, I've got a species, and I've got kind of a theme done for both of them. Because now, as a group, you can all kind of choose which one of these you keep and then which one of them you kind of play yourselves if you want to. I'll ask you, what elements would you like from me? Would you like me to give you the full name, the species, and the class? Or would you just like me to give you the class? Would you like me to give you the class and species and leave the name to you guys? It's totally up to you. And the gimmick, I should say. You have a mage. I can tell you right now that the theme of the mage is... Actually, I would have to give you the theme in terms of... Because it's what you're ordering, right? Because you already said. The theme of the mage is a... it's a sorcerer. And her magic comes from someone who's... essentially possessed her. She absorbed another mage. So she's got an extra spirit inside of her. Or I should say them. So it's up to you if you want to change, sex or species or name. So yeah, that's one of them. And then the other one is a cleric, formerly of the Lux Church healer.
Okay. Do you guys have a preference on if he gives us the name and race of mercenaries, or should we start kind of ad-libbing them?
You don't have to also rush into doing it. You can design them afterwards. But
Oh, okay. Okay, then between these two, I have to choose one, right? I only
Yeah.
get one. Okay.
Good with
So
that.
sorcerer who has absorbed another mage, or cleric who's former of the Luxian Church and is a healer. I'm very curious about the sorcerer personally. I want to know what the fuck
I'm good with
is
either.
going on there.
What if
Sorry, I
this
was
is a
muted.
good
I'm super
skill
down for that.
to
Okay,
learn?
cool.
Like, what if we might need to absorb someone someday?
Right?
Yeah,
Okay.
just saying.
I do think
It
like
might
having
come up.
cleric would be great, so I'm going to still request a cleric for next time. But that's
I'm
like
sorry,
super
we're only
interesting.
hiring one of you right
We're
now,
only hiring
but
interesting people.
we'll
right
keep your
now.
resume on file.
Well, what it would be, it manifests itself as because this is Garst and Hortz. Garst comes up to you and he says, "I've got 2 potential that you might like," and then kind of describes them to you. When you mentioning the mage, is that the one you'd like?
Yeah, I think I would ask more or mention.
She has a being inside of her from the time of stars.
A magic bean?
No,
Oh, no.
a being.
Sorry.
He kind of leans down. You see like a
right.
long smile that doesn't seem to end, and he says, "No, a wizard from the time of stars. She accidentally absorbed her. She is a studious mage, and takes some of her power from this wizard. Could be quite capable in a fight."
How did she accidentally do this?
She found an artifact from the time, and someone had stored their essence in there. But she seems interested in working.
Very well.
Then you add a mage to your mercenary camp. It's a sorceress with kind of a possession in them. And I would say to you, yeah, you can design the name and the species if you like of that person. I'd ask as a group who would like to play them. Again, it comes up just in those kind of small moments of just bounty boards if you send people off to do bounties.
I don't know.
This is so I'll give you guys an example.
Right now.
If you go to not necessarily, but it's going to come around to Shayne's turn, and then when Shayne's turn comes in, I'm going to ask you who would you like to do the mercenaries to do the bounty, or would you like you guys to do the bounty? So,
Got it.
to give you an idea as an example of what would happen is if you said the mercenary is going to do the bounty, then upon like the next week when it happens, or the next time we resolve, we would do like a fast action descriptive based combat where each of you has chosen one of the mercenaries to go forth, and you're like, Bullbiter jumps up and he hacks into them. He's going to try and bite the person's leg off, that kind of thing. And then you basically are taking control of the one. So this is just your way of giving a little bit of your own oomph in there if you want to throw in your voice. Just so you don't have to, like, if one of you plays Bullbiter, you don't have to just do the Bullbiter voice. You can kind of give your own personality in there if you want to. So it's up to you.
I'm definitely not.
Can I
gonna
peer pressure
ball biter.
someone?
Yeah.
Sure.
How do we feel about that?
Yeah.
I think Shayne should be this character.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Done. Sorry,
I'll be
Shayne.
playing the voice inside her head for you. Or their head. Again, it
Amazing.
doesn't have to. You can change the sex of the person. It's up to you, entirely and up to you. So you get to choose them.
Create your OC.
Yes, exactly. These are like little mini side characters you guys get to play with.
We'll find a toy.
So, but then it comes to your actual other mercenary pick, and Gar says to you, "Well, you don't have to decide who leaves yet, but if you'd like me to request OG." Oh, okay, so you're hiding from the dog. She was doing this the whole time. I thought you were asking a question.
She's sweating in.
He says to you, you don't have to decide who leaves, if any leave. But, what would you like me to look at for the next week here whilst we're in Warmsteps?
I mean, I was immediately going to say healer, just because I do think it would be nice to have a mercenary that's a healer. That's the one thing we're lacking now at this point, I think. Unless you guys have any alternative suggestions to search for.
No, I think especially if we're gonna like send them out as a group, right?
Yeah.
Like
We need
yeah.
like a balanced kind of party.
A healer would be good.
Very well. Go ahead and roll a d20 on a 15 plus.
Okay.
You can get a rare one, a rare mercenary.
Ooh.
Now, you can also add Bastion points up to your proficiency bonus to this number you roll. So up to 3.
Okay. 19.
Okay. Then you get yourself a rare mercenary. The healer of the 2 that will come next week will be or the next Bastion turn will be rare in its design.
Nice.
And I also ask you the question: do you want to upgrade your mercenary camp with 2,000 gold to the spacious ones? You can get up to 10 mercenaries, or do you want to just keep it as 6? Right now, I think you've got
Maybe keep-
6 in there. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah. So we each have someone to play. That's good,
Yeah.
right? Maybe keep it as 6 just for now, and then once we sell the pearls, I'll
Okay.
upgrade.
It does
the
mean you will
mercenary
be
camp.
kicking one person out next week.
Sorry, ball biter.
Oh, because we can only accommodate 5.
Get that nasty
You can.
weirdo
I
out
think
of
you've
here.
got. Have you got 6? Who you got? You got Dallin.
Ball biter, Connell, Dallin.
Yeah, and then
And then that
and
funny
then
named
Mage.
one.
Jabbo, and then the mage. Oh, you're only at 5 at the
Jabbo.
moment. Okay, maybe you're only at 5 at the
Okay.
moment.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think okay, so you're good. You're good. Then it'll be next week
Okay.
onwards that you'd have to kick some out.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll probably upgrade it next time.
All right.
Jabbo.
Yes, you've got Jabbo Twin Chin.
That dude. Because I
Um,
didn't see him because he's hiding. He's so
Yeah.
stealthy.
So who would like to go next? I think you
Who's
said
left?
Tamar, didn't you? Because you said
Yeah, tomato for sure.
And I just need to be kind of quiet because it is loud outside right now.
that's
I'll
okay.
go.
But yeah, I can go.
Fuck him.
Do,
Whoa.
Hey, fuck you, dude.
do, do, do,
Sorry.
Joe picked me.
would you prefer to
Yeah,
go,
I'll go
now?
right now.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Let's go right now.
Go ahead and roll 1d12 plus 1 as Tamara comes up to you and she says, Tamara, and she goes, I've made you the sleeping aid.
Fuck does this guy think he is right now? What's he
I
doing?
rolled for you. I rolled for you, bud.
You rolled for me? All right, I got a 9.
Do you want to take the, okay, yeah, fair enough, yeah. She gives you, nine uses of it, kind of in these small little, like, it's almost like a moisturizing tin. She's kind of made it in there, so you have 9 uses of it, made of the flowers. That's the stuff that gives you a restful night. If you go into a long rest with that placed underneath your eyelids, you will be undisturbed unless you choose to wake up during that night. So you won't be hit by any nightmares or anything like that. You can only be woken up by outside means. No nightmares.
Hey, thank you very much.
She nods her head. Of course. And then you also get from your garden enough mats to make 2 poisons. Basic poisons. More roll stuff will come up with your Bastion points once you get people that can be inside the garden working on the garden, or vice versa. In regards to, then I would ask you that, what do you want your garden to do, and what do you want your little medical tent to do?
Let's switch the garden back to healing potions
Okay.
or healing herbs. And the medical tent, I don't think I've made any healers kits or medic packs so far using it. I'd like to
Okay, make the first one.
some of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you start making the meta packs. All right. Then we'll go on to Morgaine. Morgaine, your sanctuary is pretty stationary, but I will remind you that you do have, in case you forgot about it, you can cast Healing Word once a week from the sanctuary. As in, like, you have that power enhanced from your sanctuary. Basically, by spending a long rest inside your bastion once in that week, you will gain access to using Healing Word once a week. But because you're a warlock, it casts at the maximum level.
Okay.
So you do have a one use of that.
Is it a spell slot thing or is it without?
No, it's without spell slot. It's considered a charm, is how they put it in the new book.
Cool.
You have the ability to cast Healing Word once a week.
Sick.
The other portion of it, yours is very simple because you've got very passive ones. would be Trippy kind of coming over and kind of saying to you, some more gain. I managed to convince some of those copper cloaks to join us. They want to help out in the barracks. They're willing just to do it for the experience of just being here, taking in some of the income that comes into the camp.
Very good.
Good. So you would have, if you want to add in, although you've kind of come up with their backstory, so you can kind of maybe mix it up if you like, because I know you've been naming them for the Bastion stuff. But yeah, I think you have a total of eight soldiers. So I imagine for your Bastion turn, would you like to then get the last 4 in? So you have the maximum of 12 for next week. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, maybe that's
4 more.
Maybe that will be the 4 then. The copper cloaks coming in.
Would the copper cloaks all be like humans?
No, it's a variety. So copper cloaks, what you learned about them last time was it's a mercenary guild where you basically sign up and then you choose your jobs. So they have like 40,000 members because people can just choose when they join up for it. So it can be people from all walks of life. Some of them will have secondary professions as like some of them could be doing carpentry or masonry, but they do this as like a side gig. You know, they'll be like, hey, we need 20 copper cloaks to come and guard a caravan going from X to Y, and they go and do that for a week, and then they go back to their normal jobs. So it's people from all walks of life who are interested in fighting. Or mercenary work, I should say. All right. Desmond or Andrasa, who wants to go next?
I can do it.
Okay. Desmond, your first one, you would be walking past your smithy, and you'd hear the word, "Oh, that over here," and you just see Delixia kind of look up to you and go, "So I've managed to make everything look good. I think it's all working very well. So you've got your whole half plate here done. So it kind of lifts it up into the air. Yep. So I've also put in some. I realised it was probably extra work that didn't need to be done. I put some extra fur around the side of it to make it more comfortable to wear, and I realised that doesn't really matter with you. So the last few hours were spent unnecessarily, but it's all done."
I mean, trim is never a waste. It's the look that matters. You know?
Yes. I agree.
That's good.
Okay. So what's next?
What is next? What are my... It's been so long since I've had to actually do something here.
It's true. You do have your half plate ready now, though, so you have that.
The sad thing is I don't even need it anymore.
Well,
No!
I've got my
believe
own, so
you
does anybody
spend-
need half plate?
Yeah, that's also true. You can give it out to people.
First I can ask that, and if not, I sell it.
You do have another option as well on top of that, is which you could give it to one of your mercenaries.
Oh,
If you want to help them out on their thing. That also goes for any magic items you don't want to sell, you can also put on them and they'll have like little bonuses.
Who could even wear the half plate? In our party, anybody else? I don't know.
I'm already wearing tempered half plate, but
Yeah.
in our merc camp though.
Yeah, I think we should hand it off.
Can anyone? Can the fighter dude?
Oh, in the mercenaries? Yeah.
Yeah, right. But I think he's the only one? Question mark. Can because Ballbiter's a barbarian? Can he wear that?
He
Ballbiter
technically
would
Could it depends on his
probably
stats.
refuse.
Yeah.
He's like so insulted. I
Uh,
don't need this.
Let me
What
see.
the hell,
Here.
man? I can't do his voice.
I'm gonna have to make you play ball by now. His armor. He has a 16 armor class already as a base. So what does the half plate give us?
How much dex does he have? It would be 15 plus dex, which is...
How
It'd be
does
the same as
this
his
motherfucker
current
have
now.
higher AC
Okay,
than
then.
me, baseline.
Just because he's built into his persons.
God damn, mate.
His little dwarven
Built
ability gave him.
He got that con dex.
Fucker.
Yeah, otherwise, I mean, I guess you could, you can always sell it, that's for sure.
We get a marketplace board, right?
What's
Hand
the
it
max
off.
on half plate? It gives you
15 plus dex was just 2.
so up to
max.
2. Okay. Technically, it would give Connell Rump 1 extra AC because he's wearing studded right now. He's a +4 to his dex.
I would hand it off. Any AC is worth it.
But if you
Mhm.
want to sell it as well, I believe half plate sells for a decent amount.
It took
You
so
give it
long
to him, and then
make
you're
another
like, "Hang
use
on."
it. We could get
Yeah.
money like other ways a lot quicker. This took like
Yeah, right.
so long. I want to do something with it, and it looks good.
That's
It's
true.
got a fur trim. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Sadly, Connell is allergic to
Beautiful.
fur. No. Wait.
All right. Then your other when the other way you can come up with whatever you want to do in there now. Would you look at?
I'm looking.
This is
I don't
up
think
to
I
you.
bookmarked
Didn't bookmark what you can do in it.
the Bastions.
There we go. It's the smithy, right?
I believe so. Oh, there it is. I did bookmark it.
I believe it's all just kind of just like making armors and whatnot.
Any armor or equipment or ammunition or simple weapons.
Yes.
I don't think we need anything. Oh, I can make masterwork weapons. Is there a limit? Like level requirement for that or something?
I took that bit out, but I can look into it for you. If you want to make one of those, you can.
Yeah, because does anybody need a magic weapon still? Or does
Melee
everybody
weapon.
have one at this point? I think everybody might have one. It might be at that point.
Yeah, you guys are closing on +2 soonish. Soon to
Okay. I could just start making things that I can sell to make
Right.
money from the smithy
true.
at this point.
That's true.
Let's see. In fact, making a magic weapon just for selling, magic weapons can sell for decent money, I feel like.
Yep.
So I might do that. I might just make a masterwork longsword or something,
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Good idea.
which is... Was it 21 days? Yeah,
Okay.
21 days and 800 gold to make, which... Does my artificer thing come? It's only if I make it, I guess.
By the time that
If I'm
you
making
spend in
somebody
here,
else make it.
yeah, but Jalixa comes with kind of a benefit of that as well because he has the same bonus because he's a little artificer boy as well. So yeah, you'd knock off half the money, right, and half the time.
Okay, yeah.
So you'd get this.
I think I
in 2
personally
months.
knock off more then, but he's not going to be as skilled.
If you spend
as
the next
me.
couple of weeks here, you'd be able to get it done very fast and very cheap. But yeah, if you use him to do it, then you can knock off even half of what.
Yeah,
that is.
so that's what we'll do. We'll make just a masterwork longsword.
Okay, sounds good. All right then. And then your bounty board comes up, and over on your bounty board, you'd
Yes.
see 2 bounties. The first one says stolen goods. The Guild of Celestial Weavers is requesting aid with retrieving stolen goods from a group of rogue ogres. Seek out Redia at the Guild Hall for details on the theft, rewards of fabrics, and a sum of 3,000 gold. Is the quest?
Those pesky roguers.
So if you were to send mercenaries to do that one, if you guys didn't fancy it, you'd get 1,500 gold and some of the fabrics. So all I'd ask you is...
What are the risks of sending our mercenaries? Like, is there a roll we have to make to see if they freaking die?
Yeah, so we'll do it as like a little... It's going to be like a mini game. But it should be fairly fast. It's going to be like a descriptive combat that goes by very fast.
Okay.
A few, like a couple of rounds. That's it.
Because what do we all think? Do we want to try sending them, or do we want to do a bounty?
Well, there's 2 bounties up? What's the other one?
No, sorry, there's only one.
Oh.
You'd get...
Okay.
Sorry, that's I misspoke because I prepped one in case you guys upgrade it. Because if you upgrade it to Rumi with 500
Right.
gold, next week you have a second bounty.
It feels like it's just like, I don't know. I feel like at the very least we should send them, right? I don't know. I guess.
It'll still be
How much-
1,500 gold or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, the more people we send, the more. Do we have to split it more ways then?
No.
They just take half.
Okay, it's always just half.
The benefit of sending less people is if you had 2 choices, you could send 3 to one, 3 to another. They have more risk of dying, but you
Split
could
it,
get 2
yeah.
done, yeah. Yeah, they're going to just take half the gold.
I definitely think doing a
1,500
bounty
still a
every
lot.
week,
Yeah.
and if it's with our, mercenaries, is a
I agree.
necessary idea. I think we should do it every time.
It's just money.
I think, right. So, Joe, sorry, you said that, like, if we go, obviously we keep all the gold, but then do we get different like materials or just like more of this? So like we were like,
okay, let me give you an example.
Like we would
Let's
want to
say
go
the
to this one.
example is a fire giant or a big old like fire basilisk. You'd get, if you went, you'd have a higher chance of getting better materials you could use, right? Or even getting materials from the basilisk and also getting the full amount of gold. Sending mercenaries comes with a risk of when harvesting that they fail the harvest and only take half the gold. In this regard, they'd be taking portion of the fabrics for themselves because it's part of the reward. So you get some of the fabrics back, which can be used if, e.g., if you wanted to make a robe of power or something.
I don't know. I think mercs are fine to send.
Yeah.
Okay. You don't necessarily need to discuss who wants to
I don't
play.
care.
Yeah, I'd say as a group, you get to decide, do you want to send mercs or do you want to mark this on your list yourselves?
I don't see a reason not to use mercs, right?
Yeah,
I think it'd
we
be a
can
good
still
chance
do
to
our things.
try
while
the
we
system.
Just
Yeah, agreed.
Okay. In which case, I guess by the end of the episode, you can decide who wants to play who. But you will have one of you missing out on playing bus. So at this point, we can send one of the barracks people. They'll be weaker than mercenaries, but at least you get to have someone extra there. The roles, like I'm saying, it'll be kind of like a choose your own adventure almost, where I'd be like, the party's going to be journeying down here. X trap appears. Do the dex check, and some characters will be better than that than others. You know, who is at the front, etc. So it's kind of a much quicker pace. Imagine like a speedrun dungeon. Is what they will be doing on your basis. But we'll come up with the characters later, just to keep the episode moving. You can tell me off stream who you'd like to play, or even towards the end of the stream. And then for your bounties for next week, I'd ask you: do you want to upgrade it for 500 gold, or do you want to keep it as is for one bounty?
I mean, the money's pretty lucrative. I feel like it would pay itself.
If we're
off
getting
immediately.
1,500 right now, right?
Yeah.
Right. I feel like this is a good
let's just do
investment that
it,
we should do right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then you can put 500 gold together to build a better bounty board with a couple more callers and searches for bounties.
I could just put I have enough. I could just do it from mine, so we don't have to. Everybody pool this much.
It also does mean that when you roll, you can get like one rare one and one normal, etc. So,
that's right.
Sick.
You get to do your rare roll now, unless you want to change out Quintatio from being inside of the thing with Silas. Silas can give you better rewards for next time, based on the percentile die. Quintatio, you have a chance of getting a rare bounty. I already know which one you're picking.
I still want to see a rare bounty.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I gotta see
Although
what it is.
1d20, you can add up to your proficiency bonus of your Bastion points.
I believe in you.
Oops. Let's roll up to my proficiency.
Yeah, so you can add a +3.
We really are still 3.
Bone if you need to. If you rolled like a 16. Yeah, 6 won't do it, I'm afraid. You don't have to spend the Bastion points, because that's basically
only
if you
after.
only after you can apply them after. Okay. You didn't get a rare bounty, but you will have 2 bounties for next week coming in for upgrading. Okay. Then finally, OG.
Hello.
Your bounty turn is obviously you have your room with the books and whatnot. You can decide what you want to do there. It's very small amounts of gold, so that's mostly there for the features you get with it.
Keep doing it. Yeah.
But you would have Holtz come up to you for the facts that you wanted to research.
Yes.
He kind of calls you over towards it. He's been sat there and he kind of leans back and goes, "All right, I've had my people talk to people. What do you want to hear about first? This Lady Arlington or this Guild of Drifting Sparks?"
Let's do Lady Arlington first here.
Okay. So, there are 3 Lady Arlingtons of note. Any others that I've narrowed it down to probably don't fit the bill. The first one is Lady Grenna Arlington. She's engaged to be married in high tide next spring. She's a half-elf in her 30s. She's trying to marry someone called Denna Alacra, second daughter of Lord Stormort Alacra. Her line of Arlington were sailors and given prestige in the War Without Land of nearly about 100 years back. I will copy and paste this. You don't have to write this down, too.
Yeah.
The second is Lady Giovanna Vigil, formerly Giovanna Arlington. She's married to the first son of Lord Kelos Vigil in Hour Till Dusk, in the Land Without Light. She's a kind, beautiful elven woman with foreign family ties. She gained renown for her kindness when she was captured by the Grelic clan of the northern Black Hinterlands. She managed to sway them to join as an outpost for Hour Till Dusk. The last of the three is Lord Faye Arlington. She resides in Last in Paletown. She's a solitary court mage of House Miser. She's been appointed there for the 10 years as the last mage. Sebel Yaka died of blood eyes 11 blessings back. She's said to be self-taught wizard with the proficiency for illusion magic.
Okay.
So I'll link these to you. The other bit you had me research was the Guild of Drifting Sparks. Alright. So this one's a bit more factual for the most part, but it's they're founded in the year 421 in Star Clock. The guild was designed by a gnome named Hovo Sparkheart. He took on the name for his profession. His grandson now runs the guild, Masmo Sparkheart, and it specialises in automatons built for chores, aid and helping. It's said that Hovo's genius was unmatched. He's the inventor of moving souls into automatons, and he died in 440, but not before entering himself into an automaton himself. He's not seen often in public, but comes out for the yearly blessing celebration of their first creations. The automaton world is a competitive one, and Masmo, the grandson, is said to have his grandfather's touch. In the year 473, Masmo came out with a new range of automatons, which all have the benefits of having a soul, but are said to contain none at all. His formula is unknown, but they are referred to as Ulman. The guild is primarily found in Starclock, but has a factory here in Warmsteps, which is where they often build the new range of automata.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Okay. And what facts would you like to be researched for next time?
I would like to see if Holtz can find anything out about. Is it the Crystal Mirage? Is that the place in the Ruby Stretch
Yes.
where the other vault is? Right. So I think she would like him to start seeing if there's anything that he can find out about that, you know, kind of like when was it like abandoned because there's nothing that, you know, like that kind of shit. And then the other thing she would like to find out is any information about the actual structure of the magic police.
Okay.
Like their sort of workings, that kind of thing, you know.
Can you be more specific on
how
that?
they function.
So the Consorts Initiative, just to remind you because it's been some time, was specifically in Marigold.
Yeah, so I think what Indrasa wants to find out is like what are the magic police called in, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, they're the Consorts Initiative in Marigold, but in the Bay of Progress, you got to look out for the dudes called like whatever.
So just specifically because it's going to be because the general rule of it is 3 bits of information about a particular topic. Specifically, the Bay of Progress's version of.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he sits back and goes, "Oh, yeah, I'll get on it." He kind of leans back, puts his feet up, and starts kind of grabbing for another book, and then starts writing in a quill to start sending off a letter. Okay. With that being said, I believe that's every. That should be every Bastion turn done. We'll zoom down. We'll get everyone just to roll your Bastion points. Again, it's just 2d4 from every person, and then we'll move on from the Bastion turn. So everyone just roll 2d4.
I hate this. My rolls are always terrible.
Where you get an 8.
Oh my goodness, an 8.
Woo.
5.
5 for Carlisle, 5 for Tack.
4.
Okay. And then another 8 by Morgan. Very nice. Okay. All right, and then oh, sorry, did I miss your one as well? Oh yeah, there you go. 2.
Don't say
I
that.
feel you, dude.
Shayne gets a 2.
Oh, that's usually me, so I feel you.
Well, but so what you'd see as well is as you're kind of going around checking on everything in your Bastion, you'd see Vandal comes out of his shop, walks along, puts like a little kind of gloved finger on, and waves his finger in the sky, and then shoots out this kind of skyrite, and it says like "down here," right? And then signed Vandal, and he folds his arms behind his back, taps his foot, waiting. You can see he's kind of in like a morning robe, his chest hair showing, and which is kind of almost lightning white, and he kind of just stands there tapping his foot, waiting. And you see this eagle swoop down, giant eagle. You can start seeing its size as it kind of descends downward. But it almost has this cloak flowing behind it. And it's carrying in its talons a large chest. And it goes... lands right next to him, places the chest. Who's outside at this point and around kind of near the store, going around in the setup of the camp? Who would have seen this? Or everyone, you can
He
say.
would be outside.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean, I
me
think...
too.
I would have heard it.
Yeah, you could have probably would have heard it land in. And you would see, as you kind of come out and you'd notice, on top of this like larger chest, crouched with the talons on there, is this almost very static with its feathers, giant eagle with no head, but cleanly stitched together on top. A cloak that flows down, covering that the kind of where the stump would be, flowing down the back. This deep kind of purple cloak that flows down the back of this eagle, and its chest cavity is being kind of cut out perfectly spherical. And inside there is a spellborn orb. Morgaine, you would notice that the orb itself, being around spellborn and seeing the magic, they are literally born of magic. You would see that the inside the magic is necromancy and conjuration swirling together.
Okay.
Which anyone who knows anything about spellborn and the species in general can make
So it'd be green and yellow, just kind of swirling around.
Yeah, green and yellow just merging and coloration, just kind of mixing and matching. If anyone knows anything about species like spellborn or would like to make a check, you can do a nature check.
Would I be able to like see a spellborn?
In this form, yeah. In their kind of younger form, this is. Give me I'll tell you with a nature check what you can exactly get.
Okay.
You with a 3, I would say maybe you haven't been around many of them. But those you have, you've noticed that you've always picked up on the ones which are in their orb form. It is like swirling magic in there, so you at least know that. But general information would be for anyone else that wants to roll nature about spellborn in general. But you'd see this one lands, and
have to be nature.
Sorry, does it have to be nature? Yes, it's the nature of the species. It's their very being. So
Nope, not one. I don't know shit.
yeah, you probably don't know much about them. Maybe not paid as much attention to them. But you'd see that it kind of lands on top of this chest. Vandal wanders over and goes, "Ah, Willow, my old friend, how are you doing?" And you can hear it kind of respond back, kind of arches its back and goes, "Quite well, quite well. Well, I've got your shipment here. It's all packaged up. The parcel is as we discussed. Where's the one for me?" And Vandal goes, "Richard!" And you can see kind of coming out, dragging, this kind of like just scraping along on wheels, but trying to build up some momentum. Another chest kind of gets pulled down. As Vandal's changing out his stock, you see Willow flies over and kind of lands onto his one and goes, "Don't worry, Richard, I'll take it from here." Kind of hooks his talons in. Vandal walks over and goes, "All right, and that's everything we've got in here, yes? All right, good. My friends, come on over. I'd love you to be the first one to have a look at my stock. Got it all changed around now that we're here. Also, this is my friend Willow of the Guild of Expeditious Envoys. Willow, this is the Six." "Oh,
Nice to meet you.
see, almost like the magic almost glows slightly whenever he talks in the chest. He goes, "Yes, he spoke about you quite fondly. Says you're decent customers."
Yeah, that's why.
"Well, welcome to Warmsteps. I've not spent too much time here, but we have a lot of business around the area. If you do need anything delivered, we can do so as payment." "Vandal, you find your entire stock is in there. I will be in the area, otherwise you do have our contact." Yes. All right. Well, I appreciate it, sir. Good day to you, Mr. Willow." And you see it kind of hooks the talons in and flies off elsewhere. Vandal kind of walks over, grabs hold of the chest, notices there's no wheels on it, and Richard is always kind of already hopping back inside. And he just turns around and goes, "V! Could you do me a favor? Just take this inside." "Come on, I can't carry it, okay? It's too large."
Fine.
Gotta get some kind of discount or something.
You already have a 20% discount. That's all the... look, I've got a deal I'm willing to make with all of you, in general, okay? Come on, follow me inside. Well, follow V, I should say. And he wanders right past V and kind of walks straight into this shop.
She'll carry it.
The spell
Or
counter
move
now
it.
embedded to kind of look quite close to the town. You can hear the town kind of buzz not too far away, and he kind of puts himself so he's right on the road. And he brings you into the spell counter. And when you kind of place the chest down, he walks over to it and kind of opens it up. You hear him whisper a little word, or you might not hear him. He leans in and whispers, and you hear it go. This whole chest kind of opens, portions come out of it, and there's several little magic items locked inside. And he starts picking them up and move them into different new portions. The whole shop kind of empty. He goes, whilst he's restocking, he says to you all, "Well, here's my deal. Now that we're close to a town, I'm going to be starting to sell some of this stuff. Okay, there's going to be people that will come in and be prospect buyers. What I'm willing to do with you is you tell me which items you would like to be reserved, right? And on a week-by-week basis, I'll reserve up to a certain amount, right? Let's say I'll give you guys. We'll play it by ear, okay? You can't just reserve the entire fucking store, or I'll go out of business. But you know, if you need like 4 or 5 things reserved that won't ever move away from our stock, then we'll do that. But otherwise, you will keep moving and flowing. Above board, you can reserve stuff. Otherwise, things at risk. There'll be like 2 rare items move out, 2 new ones come in, that kind of stuff each time. So he kind of turns around and he goes, "So, out of the stock, take a look. And if anything you like, go ahead and purchase it. I've got pricing structures for all the new stuff. I've ordered all. I'll tell you about every single damn item if you like. Some things did stay. I didn't sell them on yet, didn't trade them off yet. A couple of those things you might be happy to hear about because they are some of my most sought after items, such as the robe of useful items. I still have that because that item is... the other thing Yes?
No, because it's useful. That's why you kept it.
Exactly. I also do still have the a fruity bottle. That one mostly because it's too expensive to sell off so easily. And of course, my beautiful fruit still remains untouched, unsold. For now. However, I have sold and traded out the majority of the other things, and I'm afraid to tell you something, Andrasa.
Yes, dear.
That little extra deal we had.
Yes.
I can't really do it around here, but I do have a contact. Okay?
right,
So I'm
fantastic.
just pass you
It's
to a
all right.
contact. It's fine. Yeah, I'm just not at risk at the moment. I don't want to be caught.
No.
Not now we're close to some
I
of
don't-
the larger towns.
Which- I don't want to get caught either, dear.
All right, good. Well, he kind of claps his hands together, bows his head and says, my shop's your oyster. Please, if you'd like to shop around.
Oysters again.
We will take a 5-minute break there, though, because I'm realizing people want to probably go to the loo because we have been playing for a couple hours now. And then let you look around the shop before we get started into the old whatever you want to loot in there. Again, have a think about what items you might want to craft as well, because I'm sure that will come up. All right, we'll be back in like 5 minutes. See you then. Okay. Let me bring us down back into the game, chat. All right. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everyone.
Hello.
Okay, we just left off inside Vandal's shop as the new stock has just come in. There's a bunch of different items in there, of course. Magic items are going to vary from usefulness to wackiness. But the stock will change up fairly regularly. Pretty much on a weekly basis, you'll get a couple of new items there, with some of them being swapped out. But also, kind of down to what you can also request of Vandal. He would say to you as well, like, and if you have any things to look out for, be it, you want more weapon selections, you want more stuff like that, more rings, all that good shit, you just let me know. And I'll see if I can procure those. But, yeah, feel free to look through my sections. He kind of points. And you do have your common, your uncommon, your rare, your very rare. And he has another little hidden other legendary item as well.
Hidden?
We look.
As in, he's got it encased behind his counter to keep safer. And you can see the statues up in the corners that keep his shop safe. Their eyes just glow very slightly. Prepared for anyone that might try and thief it.
Side question.
Mm-hmm.
What is Richard wearing?
It's Richard's day off today. It's his moving day. This is shift change today. Okay, you see Richard is
He's
just
like a
gonna
little work outfit on.
It's more Richard's comedy this time is gonna come from the fact that he's moving in and out, moving stuff, and he's dragging like kind of different price tags in, and like on his tongue he puts them back into place. And you can just see him stick against the walls, and you can see him going around pricing each item up individually. He's too busy to look good right now. You can see there's almost an element where Richard looks stressed, like this is the one that he's not used to. You can see like his face has got a little puff in red, and his eyes are a little bit like sunken as he's just kind of rushing back and forth, moving stuff. Whereas Vandal is like kind of chipper, folding his arms, happy, looking around, and going like, all right, well, do you want me to show you around, see what I purchased?
Of course.
Okay, fantastic. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with the cheaper stuff or the more expensive stuff?
You start with the cheaper things and you work your way up, dear.
I don't know. Maybe you'd like it the other way around. Maybe you like to see the potential what you could buy, and then in the end just say, just one of these, please. But you guys are getting richer. Well, yes. I mean, but adventurers live a sad life. All right. Started the cheap. All right. Okay. Well, let's go over here. He walks you over to the kind of more common section, which is in the center aisle. There's almost like a little racks of the items there, encased. Again, Magic Shop's not hugely occupied with items because they're far and few. But he points to the first one, and you see this mug. It's a tankard with a happy face kind of carved into it, almost like pulling out of it. And he points his hand to it and says, "That right there is a singing stein." Yep, that's right. It was created by dwarven bards and singers down in the underdark city of Kazahome. They apparently made it. It detects poison, essentially. If it's been poisoned, it sings off tune. The ironic thing is the dwarves sold it to me because they realized when they're drunk, they can't tell the difference between the out-of-tune singing and the in-tune. I mean, that's got the quirks mixed out. For the longest time, it sang awfully because alcohol itself is poison. But we've managed to make sure that doesn't occur. So, above board, the first item is a singing stein.
I hate that. I hate the face on that, bro.
I don't like that at all.
Which, in a nutshell, yeah, it sings song based on the type of drink inside of it. So it's got wine, it does a ballad if it has rum, sea shanty, etc.
Nice. Only drinks rum from here on out.
Just because there's so many items, we won't read them all out, but I'll give you a general gist of each one. And you can obviously look at them as you get interested. But yeah, it sings slightly out key if it's poisoned, the drink. He would then walk over to this tunic, a sleeveless tunic, and he says, "Ah, this right here is the heart of the sleeveless. Well, it was whipped up by a poetic scholar. He was told he showed too little emotion, so he decided to make something a little bit ironic based on that, and I quite like it. Essentially, when you feel different emotions, it will change color to match your emotion. So if you're feeling particularly colorful, you can go ahead and wear one of these.
It's a mood jacket.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny.
Okay.
And then eventually you realize that it actually changes color depending on how hot your hands are.
Right. And you're like, wait a minute. I'm not always
wait,
scared.
and also I should say 150 gold for the Stein and 110 gold for this. And we're on the cheaper
These
end
are
here, my
steals.
friends.
Yeah.
Next up is the Companions
Sure,
Band.
for sure.
Catch me paying more than 5 gold for that fucking cup.
I'm buying it as a Christmas gift for someone.
The next one is it's 150 gold. It's the Companions Band. This one's rather sad, actually. Well, it's got a sweet story behind it. Inside are 4 spirits. An otter, a blink dog, a tortoise, and a droopy-eared cat. Each one was gathered by the creator as they looked after them for over the years. They kept their souls inside there, or an essence of them. It's not necessarily their souls. I believe the cat was their childhood pet that they lost at age 12. And they became a ranger. And then the otter was nursed by them, and they'd visit them often. The otter would run away to see them. The blink dog was similar, abandoned for having a limp leg from its pack. It was nursed and kept as a pet for years. The longest companion for the most part for this owner. And then the tortoise was their next and last. It passed away only 2 days before the ranger. And both peacefully going in their old age. So what this thing does is, if you attune to it, you can essentially summon the little spirit of those animals. Or even if you get your own animal.
That's so cute.
That's a collar.
And
Straight up.
well,
Straight up.
Ranger, I decided to make it this way. It's only a spiritual
Unfortunately, they're
animal.
gone now. We can't ask any questions. It's okay.
But if you do keep this thing attuned to you, after having it for a week, the attunement nature of it is unnecessary anymore, and it will stay as your companion until someone else attunes to it. So
Oh, shit. That's cool.
that's if you're in the pet business. The next one, actually, Richard's idea. And the little bastard can't even play them, but this is a very simple item, but a beautiful item. And it's a pair of tiny violin rings. You can wrap them together to play a little soft violin. And if any of you can cast Vicious
Amazing.
Mockery, you can use this instead of any words.
Oh, shit. That's really
How much
good.
is that?
120 gold.
Funny.
That's so good. Oh
No,
my
you-
god.
Do you have to
That's just
do
really
this
good.
though?
Breaks out the world's smallest violin
Yeah,
to
just-
cast Vicious Mockery.
Wait, it's only 120 gold.
You have to buy that.
Please
That's
get
from
it.
Common
change right
items are
now.
very
the
cheap.
world's
Actually,
tiniest
good.
violin.
Yeah.
That's
That's
so
so
good.
toxic. So toxic, though.
Yeah,
It's
you have
so
to
on brand
pick
for
it up right now
cats.
without saying anything.
I would have an option when my vocals
Yeah.
get taken away, which
exactly.
is
Yeah.
once a
That's
month.
huge. That's
Yeah, I
huge.
know, right?
Next up is the Bands of the Found and Lost. These 2 rings actually probably a little stronger than I thought they were, but I've had the found ring for about, I'd say, a blessing or 2. But we've only just found Lost recently. Turns out the person that had Lost was actually stuck in the 5th hell, but we managed to get it back. These rings, and he kind of holds them both up to you, point directly towards each other. So no matter how far away you are, you know the direction. The only thing it doesn't help with is elevation. So if one of you's down in the depths of the Underdark, the other one's there, you're going to probably get a little confused. But, yep, as long as you're, in the nautical direction, it's all fine. But just a good way to keep your eye on one another.
All right.
And last in our common section, as 'tis the season, the totes of tricky treats sugar bombs. I've got a bunch of sweets. They're only 2 gold per sweet, and I've got a lot of them. Okay, I have these shipped in. And again, 2 gold per suite. That's a steal. You can. He grabs one,
Oh shit.
and without reading what they do for you
prank
guys,
candy.
he hands one out. He goes, "Look, I'll give you a freebie taste test. Who wants to go?"
I have never had candy.
All right, V. He gives it straight to your hand. You go ahead.
Okay. I roll a d20.
Roll d20.
16.
16. You probably don't actually even really notice the difference because it's any alcohol in your stomach or that you drink becomes non-alcoholic for the next. I think it only lasts for 1 minute. So you'd pop it in and everyone's gonna wait and they go.
What happened?
It failed. Another one.
Okay, 2 gold, please.
It was a
No,
failure.
no, that
You
was the
said-
freebie. That's not shit. That's not roll persuasion check.
You did carry that chest in for him. I'm just saying. You deserve a free piece of candy.
My persuasion's awful, so 9.
Look, I'm just saying. I gave you that. It's not my fault that you're,
After I
I'll try
carried the
one.
chest in for you.
1 gold.
Is true.
I give you 50% off.
Currently, none of us have any reason to believe that these candies do anything. So
I don't think they work.
Did he give one to everybody or did he just
No,
give one out?
just V.
Just
V.
me.
This is Vandal.
Yeah, that's why I was like, he definitely didn't do that, did he?
2 silver.
Tack's still holding their hand out.
Fine. He puts one in Tack's hand. What a d20.
Hand it to be.
That's so sweet. All right.
Smiles on his.
Shall I do it again? 18.
Come on,
18.
baby. This is something for sure.
When you eat it, you swallow it back. Your tongue feels different, but you don't really notice anything. He kind of looks at you.
How about now?
Well, okay, so some of them have interactions with other things, so it's kind of just a in the moment
You
kind of thing.
didn't say that before. Maybe we should do one more.
Okay, so far I'm 4 gold down in this visit. Okay,
I feel like these need to be doing more obviously or something.
What if-
You're not gonna get angry too.
That's the thing, right? If you start giving these out and they don't actually do anything, aren't you going to have
people,
a load of
I mean,
angry customers?
sometimes the jelly bean just doesn't fall the way you want it to. Okay, I'm just saying it is one more, but this time for 1 gold. That's fair. Come on.
I
You
could
guys
carry
are
this
the-
chest back outside.
I was in the room with you when you defeated that horde dragon. I saw the amount of fucking gold you guys all have.
That's a good point.
It's the principle of it more so than
The
anything.
principle, like he said.
Like you stand behind your
Fine,
merchandise.
Fine. But from now on, I'll give you out this free one. No more freebies. Who has this one? Holds out.
Maybe they do not work on me. Someone else.
Good point.
Carlisle, come on.
No.
Come
no,
on.
Thank you.
Come on.
No.
Okay, more
No.
game.
No.
Okay.
No.
Give it here. Come on. Come on.
Just wait,
right,
just work
okay.
and see that they're magical, or just working
he
to
passed
see
it
that
across to Desmond.
What do I
like,
see,
they're
Joe?
not even real.
They are magical. They'd be white in magic because they're just a magical item.
I pick it up and I hold it to my face and it just goes dink on my no mouth.
Oh,
Right, I'll try one.
I drops it in your hand.
Eats it.
Okay, D20.
Okay. 15. I feel like we're in the
Okay.
section where nothing happens.
You sort it
that's a
back,
good one.
and it was
There
like,
you go.
nothing's happening, and suddenly you just see a big wizard hat, and it flops down on your head, and you can just see it just
No!
remains stuck on your head there, almost like it's glued
No,
there. He's like,
No!
there we go! I told you they're
No!
magical. I told you they're bloody magical. Okay. Fantastic. Okay,
long
2
does this
gold from
last?
now on. Probably days.
days.
Okay, all right. Well,
Just trying to, like-
you know, of all people, it's the most fitting, right? So there you go.
But no, I hate it.
You hate it?
It's
Come
so
on.
themey.
Well, you got it for free, so I wouldn't, you know, don't.
16 is trying to pull it off.
Yeah, he just remains stuck there. But after a minute, you just see it goes. Actually, didn't have a description what it does after a minute. I think it fades off.
It disappears in a cloud of
you see
stars.
little clouds of
Nice.
stars just kind of go around it as it disappears. And he goes, "There you go. See, worth every goddamn penny. Not that I got any from you cheap bastards, but it's fine. All right, next section. Shall we go over here?" He walks over,
Yes.
wanders back, and he points down to the uncommon section, which you can see 6 different items there. One of them being the robe of useful items. He goes, "Let me remind you, my friends, the robe of useful items is a fantastic robe where you can get a bunch of different things. You need a ladder. Just put it off. You know, you need yourself a chest, a dagger, all sorts. Just saying. Just saying. It's good to have. Good to have. Other than that, though, did get some more items in here." He points to one. It looks kind of like a bag of holding, but it's got this kind of face that's almost like pulling its cheeks with like little red cheeks on the side of the bag of holding. He goes, "Let's find here a bag of colding. So this thing here, you store some stuff in there, will last a long time. Essentially, you want food on the road, but although you put your hand in, your apple's gone to mush. Not anymore. You want to try and keep I don't know, what do you carry around, heads from becoming, you know."
Right, or like just parts in general.
There you go. So, bag of colding right there. That's 400
Right.
gold. Mostly because I made that one myself. Over here, he picks up a pair of scissors. These right here are curse cutters. Managed to get these little, well, actually I paid kind of cheap for me to buy these. So I might have more than meets the eye to them, but you get yourselves caught up with a curse, these things will cut it straight off of you.
That's cool.
If,
You like
if we
those.
had curses to deal with, that would be so
you never
clutch.
know when we're gonna get cursed.
So true.
What's that shit?
Every day.
I feel like our entire group though is so paranoid of that specific kind of thing that like we've never been like, "Oh, cool magic stuff. Let me put these pants on." Like real quick, guys.
Yeah,
But
you're
maybe if
cautious
you
by
had
it.
scissors, we'd feel more
I had a
inclined.
cursed glove.
That wasn't in this
As in
campaign, though.
pasta.
Yeah.
I know.
The next thing up, I've got Mirage Leathers. Now, get a look at these. These bad boys used to belong to a Solvar, or Sun Warrior in Elven Society. They help you hide in the middle of daytime. They reflect light around you. Very, very good if you are scared of the night. You like fun in the sun.
All right.
That's 450 gold, those. 400 gold for the curse cutters. Folding tent is up next for 400 gold. This is one of my own designs. Useful for every adventurer on the go. This thing can fold up so that you can only carry around one tent, but you can fit everyone inside of it. Essentially, if you need to get out and about, you can use this bad boy. Very useful, very useful. Yeah, I'm just saying, if you, do you know Lehman's Tiny Hut? I don't think so. So that can get you around that. And then the final one of my second section of magic items is a classic. It's, you know it. You always need it. It's the Goggles of Night. And he holds them up.
Yeah, we do need those.
Can we get the contacts of night so it doesn't disrupt tax fashion?
What do they look like? Do they look like?
I'll
Are
say
they nice?
his
Are they
ones.
fashionable?
His ones are more like John Lennon kind of goggles, but with like a trimming around the outside of a small, like kind of little eagle wings right there. But very small circular glasses. Yeah, these ones are a classic. Actually, got these all the way over from Horizon's Rest, and I'm just saying, ain't no adventuring party without a goggle of night.
How much are these, dear?
450 gold.
Right.
But next up, we're going to be moving into the expensive section. the very expensive set. Well, not the very expensive. That's going to come later. All right, my rarer items. First up, he walks over towards this section a little bit. This is definitely underneath one of the statues that guards it in his enclosed section. The first up here is a necklace called the Healer's Voice. Comes from the capital. I managed to get this off of a cleric that had gone into debt. Send it across. This thing will help you with healing magic in general. Okay, for if you ever cast healing spells and whatnot, but even just generally helps you with your healing ways. You might need it, I don't know. But that one there is 4,500 gold.
Wow.
That's a lot.
I was not kidding. That's expensive.
Rare items start to get more expensive. He steps over to a cloak, lifts it up, twists it around. Simple one here. A Jeweler's Society most wanted item. One jewelers love this thing, and it is a very, very sought after item. I bought it from someone who didn't really know its worth and wanted it in a gambling debt. So, this is the Mantle of Spell Resist. This thing here makes you a lot better against any goddamn spell that comes your way. That's 5,000 gold. Worth every damn penny.
Okay.
The next one, admittedly...
Never tell you it's not magic effects. It's fucking just spells. That's how they get you.
Yeah, that one is specifically spells. You're not wrong. Mm-hmm. But when it comes up, it's good. The next one as well, my friend Deos. Also, I will say this for items that you have. When it comes to the crafting rules, you can also take an uncommon item and attempt to... Or not even attempt. You can take an uncommon item and turn it into a rare item as the same kind of concept, right? So if you go, I've got an uncommon item I really like, I'd like a rare version of it, you can go and get a quest to get a material to upgrade it. You can also take a rare item you've got and attempt a risky roll to see if you can upgrade it naturally. Because it has a chance of rolling. It's very rare. He picks up a scythe next, and you can see it's got raven feathers all across. He goes, this one's actually was sold to me by ShayneHawke. It's made in the image of some old god from a different realm, but it's a beautiful weapon, capable of summoning up ravens and slicing through your opponents, however you say fit.
Ooh.
In case you're a scythe kind of person.
Are any of us scythe people?
Inside, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Physically, no.
The next
That's super cool.
I've got for you is a simple ring, but a ring that is useful to every adventurer, like I say. The good thing about this one is a ring of resistance. But what I've got here is a ring of resistance that hasn't been slotted yet. It'll be 2,500 gold, plus 500 gold for the gem needed for it. So, depending on some of the gems are a little bit more expensive than others, but I can procure it. Essentially, you get the right corresponding gem, you wear this thing, you'll be able to handle whatever the element coming at you is. A little better, at least. So essentially, yeah, it gives you a resistance to one of your choices, depending on what gem you put in there.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's smart.
And then finally, in my rare section, we have the Ring of Free Action. This thing, simple, sweet, not going to hold you down. You're not going to be able to be paralyzed, restrained. No one's going to be able to hold you down anywhere. And you're going to find yourself drifting through the world like it's nothing. This thing is really good for hikers as well, in case any of you like to retire into that career.
Yes.
Right.
And
That
how
one,
much is that, dear?
that one is 4,000 gold. Now there's only 3 more items you've never seen left. He steps over towards the very rare. The first thing he picks up is a hat. You see him, he keeps it in a glass container. The hat itself looks like an ordinary wizard's hat. But he holds up and he says, this right here, for 40,000 gold, is the Hat of Many Spells. Yes. Desmond, give me a charisma history check.
Oh,
You
baby.
could probably do one as well, Indrassa, because it's about wizardry. But it's, I'll give you advantage on it, Desmond. You can do you can do an intelligence history check, Indrassa.
Okay. 19.
But I'll give you advantage to Desmond because it's specifically
Yeah.
this.
Nice.
Are you muted? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yummy.
He got a nat 20. You immediately know this hat, but it's ridiculous that he thinks it's this. Because it comes from a picture book called The Adventures of Barnabas.
Love that book.
Barnabas was called Barnabas the Picture Book himself because his spell book had no words, only used illusions on how to cast the spells. He'd look at himself attempting to cast them. And he was meant to be quite a ridiculous wizard in general, often kind of failing upwards. And he's kind of... you would probably know, as like I guess an Omega fan, considering your role, that he was real once, and they turned him into a fictional character for like children's stories. But actually, he was during the Time of Stars one of the best wizards around, traveling wizards around. The Hat of Many Spells here, my friends, is capable of doing vast amounts. This thing here, you can pull all sorts of things from this hat. In fact, the amount being pulled is unknown. You can draw spells that you've never even cast before from this hat. The hat itself was said to be the key to Barnabas' success. And here I have it right here. Don't ask me how, but it's the real one. And it's 40,000 gold.
It's a lot.
There's a lot this thing does. Jesus.
Yeah.
And the next
Yeah.
one
That's really fun.
Mm-hmm.
is 50,000 gold.
Oh boy.
Okay.
But I had this one personally stolen. Because it used to belong
Weird
to the
thing.
one and only Oromodo. And he steps over
That's funny.
and he pulls a cloth off of a tall mirror. This, my friends, is a mirror of life trapping. It contains 12 dimensions. I believe 8 of them right now to be full. There are 8 creatures from the past trapped inside this here mirror. 4 more can be trapped. With this mirror, you can encase pretty much any creature you want. If you can capture them
Oh, wow.
and entrap them in there forever. You think your Dreadvault is successful? This thing is the Dreadvault of Dreadvaults. The problem I've got... Oromodo put a password on it. So I can't even communicate with any of the people inside yet.
Oh my
But-
god.
Do you know any of
No,
the things inside?
I don't know
what
who
they
he's
are?
captured.
No.
But there is something we could do,
Interesting.
but I don't want to do it. But we could. If you smash it, every single one of them gets
Lots of-
released.
Oh.
Lots of steps to this thing that cost so much to the
Wow.
consumer.
I'm just saying, 50,000 gold is a good price, considering this thing could trap a god.
Well, sorry, 50,000 gold. Oromodo put a password on it. Do you need the password to trap something in it, or is it just to let the other 8 things that are already in there out? Am I paying 50,000 gold for a very nice mirror that I cannot use at all?
You can still trap things in it, but you only have 4 slots. The password so you can
I only
access
have
the
4
other 8.
slots.
Because
I
you can
bet
get
there's
rid of
some
those.
Interesting shit in there.
So I'm just saying,
You had it
50,000 gold.
stolen. Sorry. You had it stolen from. What if Oromodo.
Well, I would say
You're
this
not
thing is
worried.
worth 70,000 gold, so I've given a 20k discount for the risk of Oromodo coming after you and destroying you.
But what if someone just says, well, I got it from Vandal?
Mm.
Don't blame me, I bought it from Vandal. I didn't steal it. I
I
got
would
it
say-
straight from Vandal.
I'd lie. I don't know. I saw the opportunity, so I did it.
Sure, no. All right.
But, I mean, if you get that password, I'll give you a discount. I would knock off half the fee.
And how do
Alright.
you recommend we get this password?
I don't know. Maybe you go to Oromodo's realm and steal it from him himself. Maybe you find something to do with him. That's research you're going to have to do, I think. Because I tried everything I knew about him.
Like his birthday and his like favorite colors.
I do not
childhood
know his
pet,
birthday.
his mother's name,
We didn't have that
his
close of a relationship.
street he grew up on.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
His first teacher. He kind of folds his arms back and goes,
High school mascot.
my final item, though. It might sound crazy. I've got 4 ounces of it. It's 10,000 gold an ounce. This stuff, I need you to be an open mind.
Okay.
I've
We're
got
very
glue.
open minded.
Mm-hmm.
What the
got-
fuck?
10,000 gold glue.
Glue?
Oh, the glue that never.
Sovereign glue.
Right.
Sovereign glue
Tis-
is the stickiest substance. Don't laugh. It is the stickiest substance in existence. If you put 2 things together, they cannot be removed unless you have universal solvent, which no one goddamn has, oil of etherealness, or the wish spell.
Oh my god.
You can trap anything together. That is the strongest substance. And to get that, by the way, is so damn hard. You have to literally disintegrate an albino black ooze. It is the rarest substance in the material plane. I think.
If we glued 2 creatures together and put them in the mirror, would that count as 1 spot taken or 2?
I must tell you to be careful. Don't try and store that mirror anywhere stupid if you do buy it. If you put that in a bag of holding, you're going to smash the mirror. Okay?
Are you going to get some universal solvent and then sell that for like 20,000 gold an ounce so that someone sticks
great
themselves
idea.
together, then they can. Right.
But the recipe for universal solvent is only known to one person.
Who's that?
I won't tell.
Well, I mean, it's probably the hardest alchemical research ever made. And it only belongs to the Cerulean Flask, or the remnants of it. So, the greatest alchemist out there in the world is the only person I don't know how to solve this. But, you buy that 10,000 gold now. Just saying. You could lock someone down to the ground. You could do some crazy stuff with this. I don't know.
A big thing chasing us. Just make a little spill on the floor.
Oh,
It'll be
shit.
stuck
What if
Yeah.
forever,
You use-
surely.
What if
That's
you use the
actually a
glue on
genius idea.
something, well, like that, and say they just pull that part of the ground right out
Right.
with them
I guess
around
they
the
will
glue.
Or they like cut their arm
could
off
happen.
or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's how that work. But hey, that's why I've got 4 ounces of
What
it.
if we just dumped it on them? You know, you can't exactly, like, they'll just slowly turn into a ball of stuckness.
You know what we need? An immovable rod.
We had
And then this glue. Dude.
that we had.
Dude, that's diabolical, the things you could do.
As I said, got lots in here. So, I would say, take a look at the stock. If there's anything that interests you, just tell me not to sell it. Let's say 6 items. I'll hold on to 6.
We'll definitely hold on to the mirror, I feel like, right? Like, the mirror seems. I don't know why. I just feel like something important is going to be in the mirror already that
And
we're going to
being
find
like,
out
Yeah.
I don't even know who's in there.
about. Yeah, exactly.
We
It's
have to
like,
keep
you
it.
know, someone
giving
really
that to
fucking
anybody else.
important is probably in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the mirror.
I plan on buying the goggles and And
the violin.
tiny violin, yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, by the way, though you lock in 6 items, I'm going to roll probably at random to see which ones get replaced. So
Okay.
it's not going to be every item doesn't go. It's not going to be a full restock. But it'll be things not at risk, essentially. But if you need a couple of days to think about it, I won't be selling out all week. But there you go. So, yeah, if you'd like to buy some items, now's the time to do so. Before anyone else gets their nabby little fingers on them.
Did you get any more scrolls, dear?
Only of 3rd level and lower. I don't think you picked up on the conversation I'm trying to have with you when you first came in here.
Yeah, I did. But what are they? They might be useful anyway.
So I've got a variety of spells. He kind of walks over towards the side, shows you some of the spells. Spell levels he has. Aura of Vitality, Beacon of Hope, Bestow Curse, Blink, Conjure Animals, Feign Death, Fireball, Haste, Hypnotic Pattern, Slow, Spirit Guardians, and Water Walk are the ones you got at 3rd level.
Okay.
So you want to buy those two? All right. That will be 450 plus that, so 570 gold. Okay. And again, it's going to take me a couple of days before I start selling anything at all. So do pop back if you see something that you really, really want. And then he looks at you, tagging it. Okay, but also...
What?
That's before the discount. So what is 570 gold? So you, he would look to you and say, all right, so with the discount, it will be 456 gold. Save 114.
Yeah, I'll pull out that much.
Okay. Yeah, hands them across. You now have yourself, I'll move them out of that page so you can find them, but you have yourself the Goggles of Night and the pair of tiny
The violin rings.
violins. Yeah.
Thank
Nice.
you.
Okay.
I gotta think about it.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, if you need to take time, you can obviously think about it. Other than that, though,
Neither of those need attunement either. That's great.
yeah, no, you don't need a tune to either. So then, does anyone want to buy anything else? Or holding off for now?
I never buy anything.
Morgane's good to hold off for now.
Okay.
Hold off for now.
Like I said, if there's anything you want to hold off on, I'll keep the mirror behind. And of course, if the fruit sells, it sells. Okay? It's going to sell. So I'll hold on to it. Well, not for you guys. He would go back to finishing up his store, letting you guys slip outside.
We will sneakily put 6 gold on his counter as
Oh,
the way to
okay.
pay for the candy.
That's very sweet. He'd find that one later on. But once you're kind of out and about again, outside. Oh, you did ask about something. Club.
Oh yeah.
You would look into Club's mind. Take a moment. I'll ask you actually, what time of day do you do it?
It probably would have been the morning, that morning of probably.
Okay. You would piece your head down, you put your head down, and see through the eyes of Club. And you can see that he's feigning himself right now, not as a backpack, but as a chair, a stool. And he seems to be in a cave. And inside the cave, you can see a series of these miners who are chipping at or trying to remove these gems on the wall, crystals that almost seem to sing. There's like song emanating off these crystals on the wall, and these miners are trying to find a way to hook them off. And Keel steps into sight of Clarb, walks up to one of these miners, a human. You can hear them arguing, but you're not sure on what. He takes 2 steps back and then flicks his hand and casts Disintegrate onto this human. You just see him drift down into dust. And the other miners like up in their hands and they get to harden work, and they start kind of hitting and then try and hack around these crystals on the wall. Before he turns Kios and walks out of the cave. The rest of the time you're just watching now as these miners are trying whatever they can, tools whatever they can, to remove these extremely hard to pull out crystals almost embedded into the walls. And there seems to be about, in the sight of Clarb when he looks around, a good 50 in this cave alone, just drifting out. And they're about probably a good 1.5 foot long, almost like the end of a spear tip.
Okay. Probably I'll convey that to everyone, but I mean, unless anyone knows crystal caves, I don't think we have a...
In
We heard about,
Marigold, when we learned about the gems from the stars that people worshipped, did they say anything about them singing? I don't remember. I feel like there was something like the gems talk to people, or they
People
could hear them.
follow them, and they sometimes had communication with them.
Okay.
But they're not... It's never been in
Not
terms
singing.
of... Yeah. And it's never been
Okay.
vocal
That's the only thing that
words.
made me think of. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
I don't know, would we have heard of that as far as magic items or components? Desmond or
You can roll an Arcana check.
Andrasa maybe?
But tack. They do ring a bell for you.
Oh my gosh, right. Of course they
Oh.
do. Because those are the sorts of stones that are mined in Songrest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tack hearing that would say, I mean, we have stones like that in Songrest. That's how the town was named.
What are they for? Why would you disintegrate a miner for not, I don't know, going fast enough or not wanting to do it or whatever?
Joe, would I know anything aside from the fact that they're just innately magical, or?
I'll give you 2 different rolls. An Arcana check to know kind of the properties of them. I know if you've ever heard of that. But otherwise, just give me a general, I'd say just give me a straight charisma check to hear, rumors of, what they're used for beyond that.
Okay, charisma and arcana separately?
Yes, please.
Go, baby.
18 on arcana and
Nice.
11 charisma.
Charisma-wise, you probably only know them as being, it's where you grew up. It's where you you've heard of people using them as kind of jewelry, and it is the namesake, and there's kind of a connection there to the fact that it's seen as this kind of beautiful, unique crystal to the area. With your Arcana check, though, you'd probably know that at the very least, they are renowned for being incredibly tough to mine, and you need to know the technique. And if there's a series of people trying to mine it and they don't have the technique, it means they don't have the miners who do it. And you would know that the miners who mine those crystals are called crystal singers. It's a specific kind of profession. But there's a big secret around them in terms of like they keep it very kind of close to their chest, the idea of these crystals and what they're used for.
I would because we had said that I would have worn Zonia's, like a recreation of Zonia's necklace, and her necklace would have been made out of one of those stones.
Yes.
Oh,
I would take that.
Ooh.
Totally
have
forgot
one.
about that. Yeah, I would take
shit.
that out of my bag
That's true.
and show it to Carlisle and say, "Did it look like this? Isn't one. It's just made to look like one, but did it look like this?"
Joe did it.
Yeah, this would be like a less bright. It's definitely, they shine a lot more down in the cave, and it looks like they fade over time, but it's still kind of like almost this slightly going innate version of one.
Okay.
Why would he need them?
Hmm.
What's he using them for?
Are they like? Sorry, I haven't been to Songrest. Are they sort of out? Are they used publicly? You know how some places might have some sort of giant focus or something to protect their town or whatever?
Well, not just everyone has them.
Sure.
It's one of the reasons that I made something to look like, because I couldn't just take one. But I don't know. It's not necessarily that they're rare. It's just that it's incredibly difficult to get them out of the ground.
Does it continue to sink when removed?
Joe.
Yeah, you would know that
DM?
leaning one up towards your ear, kind of like a seashell, you can hear the sounds of song vibrating through.
Yeah, you can tell if they're real, I guess.
You know, are they all the same song?
You probably wouldn't know that.
All in unison?
I don't know. I listened to Zonia's before, but I haven't heard them enough to know if they were all the same.
Was it a nice song?
It's an eerie song.
Well, I suppose we know where he is for now. Just not why.
I guess we'll have to start heading up there then, after this.
Or at least maybe ask around and find out more about what they could be used for.
Mm.
Do you, is there anyone you could send a message to back in Songrest? Maybe just sort of, I was just thinking not even about that, but in case he starts doing some ceremonies there.
I was thinking that too. Yeah. Where are we right now? I've lost track.
On the map?
Just in general, have we like set up
I
camp?
were right
Yeah,
outside
yeah,
the
you'd
Bay
be
of
right
Progress,
outside.
right?
You're in the Bay of
Or,
Progress
like,
in terms of
ish.
like you're right next to
Okay.
Warmsteps. Your
Okay.
camp's kind of been set up alongside Warmsteps, probably just on the outskirts, 15 minutes away. So it's kind of just a walk. You can see the spire in the distance, and a few of the buildings, the outlier buildings, are close to you guys. You probably found like a nice bit of grassy land, and you've just kind of set up on that.
Okay. Yeah.
I wonder if Vanderval would know anything about, because he deals with magic items.
Sure.
Orange elixir, the glowing roach.
Yeah,
Can
Tack
ask
would
him.
start like constructing a message if you guys wanted to ask or anything.
Yeah, we can. We can go ask while you do that.
Yes, well, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Walk to
would
Vanderbilt.
have his door open, so he goes, come back because you wanted to buy something else, eh? Okay. What's caught your fancy?
Actually, we've got a question for you, dear.
Sure.
Do you know anything about the crystals that they mine in Songrest? What they're used for?
Oh, no. No, I don't think I knew they exist. It's just a fancy gemstone, right? The thing is, I just don't trust, I don't like crystals.
You don't like crystals?
Well, gemstones
You
are so
don't trust them?
exciting because they come from meteorites for the most part, right? And most of the gems that we get here, beautiful, come from the blood of gods. But crystals are so far and few. It's just a generic term we use for so many damn gems. So I don't know. I just find crystals a little bit tacky.
You're bored. Oh, you find them tacky. All right.
That's so funny.
Ugh, low class, gross crystals. What a loser.
It was worth a try. He
Hates
doesn't
the
know.
crystal girlies.
I'm afraid
Damn.
not.
Yeah.
Maybe we could ask Abigail and Spring if they might know.
True. We maybe just want to tell her that.
Yeah.
He's doing
Also,
that
we
in
should
general,
probably
right?
be like, oh, we know he's in Songrest. Chill.
Yeah,
he's
true,
not here.
Actually, that's probably a good idea.
Maybe we'll get a new weird cryptic
A new
message.
riddle.
Yeah, a new widow. Yeah, we can head over by them.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, you head on inside. And inside you can see that, like, now she's closing her eyes, Spring, and Abigail goes, focus. Transmutation. And Spring's skin illuminates with, like, veins and lines all over her skin. They glow. Just in, like, pure magic, there's, like, a soft whitish glow off of them. Morgane, you would see orange.
Okay.
Like she's emitting transmutation magic.
Okay.
Necromancy. It fades and then tries, but you can see them only very slightly light and then it fades. She goes, take a break, we'll come back to it. And she sits down and she goes, hello. I like the place
Hello,
we've arrived
dear.
in.
Oh, do you? Have you been here before? Do you know? We just sort
I
of
don't
like
know.
the excitement of it, and
But I'd like to go and explore. Well, you won't, my dear.
wrecked.
She's been asking
Ah.
non-stop since we saw the spire, but she knows the risks. What seems to have you got updates? Anything?
Looks at Carlisle.
Carlisle conveys.
Is he now? Well, yes, I do know about those crystals. At least I know what they... I know what they're capable of holding within them. When Songrest was founded, they... As part of a kind of peace offerings from all weathers, they had them send out crystals to all different nations, and I was lucky enough to be one of the ones studying. But it's not... We didn't ever find anything to use them for. But within the crystals is the song. The one song. The creation song.
Oh shit.
What?
So it's so they
What?
But we found that any experiments we did on them were futile. It was the crystals must be used fairly quickly after being removed for storing magic elsewhere. It's like tearing off an arm expecting not to bleed out. The song escaped slowly over time, and there's less power there. But we did find remnants of the Song of Creation in them. Fascinating, really, but not really sure the practical use of it. It's not like you can just grind it down and use it into something else. It's a sponge for the song.
No. But if you are adept at reality magic, and right, which is sort of taking something real from somewhere else, but you have the song, which is things that are real here.
Has any...
As any.
Well, it looked like you were about to have a revelation as Abigail. I don't want to interrupt.
No, she's thinking on what and just saying.
But
And
you would
Dross has got a
say-
notebook out and is just writing.
We would ask, has any mage ever used these crystals or attempt to use them and channel this song of creation?
None that I know of in particular. I mean, when these were sent out, I was still a studious mage inside the city. I was fortunate enough to work along them, but we worked along so many different magical artifacts and research in general that, I mean, it was just one of many there. And we did send off note that we would like to have one that is freshly excavated, sent to us, but Songrust was rather... to put it without insulting. They were very careful to send out any more. And likely they sent us some of the weaker ones. Smaller ones. With less juice in them.
What if you used them in conjunction, with your anchor? So your anchor brings things that are real here, but within the confines of that space, right? And if you leave that space, it's gone. Could you use the Song of Creation to make the thing real here, not real there?
Ooh.
Do you know what I'm saying, right?
I understand
So that
your theory.
it's starting to get
I have the disadvantage of not studying reality magic as much as you have. I only know the basics of its application, but if what you're suggesting, then in his hands it could be used to, well, potentially create armies. Or minions.
Right, that's what... Right, because in the time of stars, they would sort of... they would fight inside it, and then everything was safe, but she's kind of just like as animated as you sort of ever see her. But if you could somehow sort of... They could come outside, and then you could steamroll everything, right? I don't know if that's what he's using it for, but I'd certainly try... Well, sorry, I wouldn't try it. I'd certainly...
Forgive me, I do not have experience in magic. Are you saying he would pull people from another reality to here?
Reality magic in the time of stars was used to do battles. Inside that bubble, and the bubble can be great in size, great magi who used the magic before it was ever forbidden would conjure up false beings, creatures that aren't real. They have no necessary soul attached to them. They have no soul, no rune attached to them. These things were entirely conjured by magic. false realities, and they would fight other people's false realities. You put a bubble around your entire city, and suddenly you'll spawn up 1,000 soldiers which have 6 arms. They can throw javelins quickly at once, maybe regurgitating those javelins. You could create them out of the own dark imaginations and machinations of magi with vast power. But those beings would be trapped in the bubbles. So when other magi would send their armies in, they'd be fighting these false beings before ever fighting lives. It was believed that the use of reality magic in these wars was used in a way that was so few real lives were lost when defending. And eventually people would match bubble to bubble, attaching false reality to another false reality and battle their false armies. It was a time of mind against mind. 2 mages were far more powerful than an army of soldiers. But of course, that led to the forbidden nature of it with planar phages and the horrors that come from what was drawn from reality magic. So, if your theory is correct, one could conjure something in a reality, but then give it life outside.
Yes, or the planar fate, or the... She's still just writing. Right.
Well, I am sure he's capable, but that sounds vast, and it sounds difficult to do. It sounds theory. But it is clear that he works for someone who might be pulling the chains of this and aiming and steering his motivations. It is worthwhile to interrupt those once you're done here, once you discover the plans of the vault nearby. And it sounds like he's frustrated, at least. That's good.
Above board, it seems like he's using people that aren't crystal singers to do this. So I imagine Songress doesn't know he's doing this. I wonder if they would want to step in at all, or like if that's even worth risking putting them in danger like that.
That's a good point. Well,
Sorry. I think I have the message that I want to send. I can just do it now and we'll see if I get a response.
all right, yeah.
Okay. Tack would try to message their parent, Chris.
Okay.
And would say, this time not in common. Be a bit more careful this time. In the Golcog Goliath. I wear our face. A blue tiefling named Kios is mining in Songrest. Have you seen him? He's dangerous. He means you harm.
Ooh, I got chill.
You'd hear the response back. I am no stranger to him. We have halted his plans. He seeks the crystals below. Zonia has a plan. Be safe.
Damn.
I'm sorry. Is the real Zonia like a fucking resistance fighter? Like,
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, Tack would relay that. Mm, I don't think Tack would pass on the bit about Zonia,
Mm-hmm.
but would say the rest, like that that I sent a message to my parent, who's also a changeling, that they said that they know who Kios is and that they're aware that he was mining and they believe stopped it.
Mm.
But Carlisle literally just saw them mining, though. So they can't have actually stopped it.
Perhaps supplying kiosks with incompetent miners.
to sort of lock him in place, maybe?
Perhaps.
Slow him down?
Joe, how well known is it that there are like people who are trained to mine these things?
It is, at least in Songrest, it's fairly well known, or at least to nobility and surrounding nobility, but to the public of Songrest, not very well known. It's like a mystery in itself. Like they don't really know what the.
So
method is.
you could pull one over on somebody. They wouldn't know.
These are crystal singers for
Potentially.
sure.
Yeah, these people totally know what they're
I
doing.
sing
They totally know
crystals
they're
all the
there.
time, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we duet. It's great.
Oh, but we watched a dude get disintegrated, dude.
Yeah, that's fucked. That's crazy. So even if
Mr.
that is their
Carlisle.
ploy.
When you sort of... I don't really know how Club works, dear. When you open your mind to Club, are those sort of messages that are stored waiting for you? Or are you connected to him in that moment? Do you know? Did you discuss that?
There was ones that were waiting for me at points, right, Joe? Like,
It's more like he's sharing memories with you. So it's kind of like he's showing you images that he's seen.
Right. Okay.
So we don't know when that happened.
No.
It's not like a live
but
stream.
arguably, the idea that is happening is essentially whenever you're reaching out to him, he's showing you the important stuff he's seen,
Yeah.
but he's waiting for your connection first.
So Carlisle downloads everything once he
essentially, yeah.
right.
Probably didn't happen just now, what I saw, but in the last little bit.
All right. All right. First things first, right? Let's keep thinking about that in the back of our heads while we deal with everything here, which is going to do very easily and smoothly, I'm sure. Right.
Okay.
Did Spring do anything as we were
any
talking about reality
reaction?
magic and crystals and shit? She's just like
Damn it.
doodling on her own.
He was super jazzed about the spire, though.
Yeah.
Was true.
She loves the spire. This we've learned.
She would just go back to kind of like her kind of leaning back and watching you all kicking her legs. Abigail would turn around to you and say, well, once you've got into the vault here, perhaps that is the best next destination. Unless other vaults call for us first. If Songless can hold.
Agreed.
In the meanwhile, I'm going to be honest with you. Spring, powers are getting stronger. and we have managed to contain a lot of it, but I've never trained someone like this before. It is kind of untouched grounds, and there is chances that she will lose control of said power.
What would that result in?
I don't know. It could be simply fire emitting from her, could be a meteor falling from the sky. I don't know what her capabilities are at this point, but I discussed with her, and we believe that if you are to find anything that might prevent magic, collar, shackles, or the like, if we start to notice things getting out of hand, she is willing to self-imprison.
Oh.
If you do notice
Bring
anything
you
like
anything
that,
when she says that.
she looks sad.
The mirror. I immediately think of the mirror. That's so fucked.
All right. Well, everything will be fine, and we don't need to worry about that. We'll keep our eyes open just in case, yes?
Of course. Well, you know where to find me if you need me. We should have less attention on us around here, at the very least. I don't believe they know she's here, and we have made pretty good footing away from all weathers in general.
Mm.
So, if everything goes well, I will allow her to briefly enter Warmsteps if she wishes. Under supervision, of course.
Of course.
But if you don't mind mapping out the territory first.
Spring, is there anything in particular you'd like to see? Any sort of...
She leans
Dog.
up and she leans and goes, I want to connect to my blood. The spy. It is like sister.
Spire is like a sister. Are there do we know anything about like the actual ley lines like around here and where they like may be? Like,
do we know anything about the spire too? I might have missed the episode if we talked about the spire, but
Only that it's a series of discs with the town on it with a kind of a magical
okay.
gem that goes up and down like a central spire.
Oh, okay.
oh, well,
That's
that's
a little
quite
freaky.
exciting for you. Does it like call to you or something, or you just sort of recognized it?
I just feel it.
Oh.
It
Well,
is the
it's
same
lovely,
when you
dear.
are around family, yes? You know where they are at all time.
I don't actually know where my family is at all time.
Oh,
Well, I know generally, right? I know Varen is home
Well-
in a gamut, but I don't know.
I guess we're just different.
I guess. That sounds quite nice, dear.
She just sits back into her hammock and lies back.
Okay.
So, with that being said and that put behind you, is there anything else you want to do around camp before heading to Warmsteps?
I feel like not right now, but like as an above or aside, those two rings that point to each other, that might be good to give to Abigail and Spring. I feel like
Yeah.
they're gonna get separated at some point.
Oh,
It's gonna be
that's not a bad
scary.
call.
Yeah.
I think I might like to buy a couple things before we head in, but I don't know what they are yet, so I can just message you, yeah, and tell you.
Sure, yeah. Pop it in the group chat so other people know that what's being bought. Yeah, that's fine.
Shall we head in?
then before you do head on in, setting off ahead of you, about to leave, is Myrella. And she of the Ruptured Glass Guild. And she waits by her fancy carriage, folding arms behind her. There are 2 guards beside. And you can see she stood literally on like a kind of like a cloth, like a banner that's been laid down in front of her, so that the kind of mushy mud on the ground doesn't get on her shoes. And she stands waiting, the Leonin kind of hands behind her back for your group to come along. She goes, I wanted to remind you that when you do come inside the town, to do seek me out inside of my guild. There'll be others who make offers to you. I will outmatch them. Warmsteps is a cutthroat place. But our daggers are made of feathers, and the blood we spill is ink. Bureaucracy will weigh you down here. It will burden you into the depths and depths of society. It is only with great allies may you rise against the tide inside that town. You need strong allies in the days to come, as do I. Do not make the wrong decisions when you come there. Seek me out. You help me, I'll help you. She turns, climbs in the carriage, taps her foot. The 2 guards get on top and then ride it down towards Warmsteps, ahead of you, towards the Spire town.
That's not
Well, that
ominous.
was horrifically foreboding.
Right.
It was she threatening us. Did anyone else feel
I think there was
vaguely?
a bit of an a little bit of a threat, right? Don't make the wrong decision.
Mm.
You need strong allies. Right.
Ugh.
Exactly.
So, the 6th. Do you head into Warmsteps?
Let's fucking go.
Yeah,
do
sounds
it.
like a really
On
nice
the way.
recipe.
With all of your Bastion and side stuff put aside, heading into the new town in the Bay of Progress, filled with guilds, new shops, new people, new intrigue, new stories. We'll dive into Warmsteps next week, which actually does happen to be our Halloween episode, because we're not doing it this week.
Oh.
So we'll have to come up with a
I
theme.
did this.
And
Yeah.
we
Last year we did the game, the guessing game, didn't we?
Yeah, that was
yes,
fun.
yeah, we need
And then Joe
to.
forgot the rules.
Did I? Oh, my bad. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't remember. But I'll tell you
I
what,
do
though,
remember.
we next week we'll do something. We do have a little bingo. We'll do that quickly, and then we'll let everyone get going. So let me find. The bingo is here. So do the bingo quickly, and then we'll see. So 2 hot to handles that they called the episode. I get it. TSA bullshit. You guys didn't get to the front of the doors yet. So not yet. Decanter of endless water used? No chance to yet. Someone
Wait,
offers.
we have a decanter of endless water?
Oh, did you not
did we
learn
get
that?
at the-
Oh yeah.
I don't
you
know
don't
what
know
we
the
got. I
items.
don't know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll go through the items you guys got from the lake. Because yes,
Sick.
you got a decanter of endless water.
Is
Someone
it
offers
clean water?
the decanter of endless
haven't used
water.
it
You
yet.
fill it with different stuff.
Oh, okay.
I think one of them is
yeah.
like mayonnaise. Like you can do a bunch of different weird things in it. Yeah. Someone offers bread. No, we haven't got in yet. I feel bad because the bingo was made with the intention of going into Warmsteps.
He said
I'll go to a hot spring sauna. No. Pile pizza comparison used to describe Warmsteps. No. Region specific speciality item. No, you didn't go inside the town. There will be some though. Vocally regrets wearing all black. No.
Never.
Takes off the hat. No. Nat 20. Yes. That's not OSHA compliant, not yet. Bewildered curiosity at engineering. Not really. Did you? No, I don't
Not
think you had the
really.
chance.
More about like magic today.
Yeah.
And damning and demons and.
D100 roll success? No, because you technically did them the other day. Last week. Buys a spell
I
scroll.
did a 100 roll, and I got a 93. Does that count?
Oh, it's true.
That's true.
Was A D100
it's
and
true.
see
It
what
was pretty
kind.
good. Yeah, it said success.
I
It's
don't
true.
know that there was a non-success situation. I got gold no matter what. But
That's true. Yeah.
it's
I
a
mean,
pretty
if you'd
good
rolled
roll, though, dude.
yeah, if you'd rolled like under the 20, maybe you wouldn't have given it. You didn't buy a spell scroll. Nat 1, yes. Party member hates the heat. Hasn't really warmed up yet. We haven't really dived into it. New Richard outfit? No, technically not. Catches wind of another escapee? Not yet. Harmony's call encounter? No. NPC? What's FAFO?
I don't know.
Fucks around, finds out.
Oh, fucks around, and finds out.
There you go.
No, not yet. Extremely niche guild NPC. No, I feel bad. This has been made with the intention of being inside the town. Party member tries to
Yeah,
sign up for guild.
over.
Nope. Adopts an alias.
Almost.
Almost. You didn't
I
know in
mean,
the end.
yeah,
We
we're not
come up
there
with
yet.
it. Party
Oh.
refused
In
entry
progress.
guild only establishment.
Yeah.
No. And 2+ features used to boost ability
Oh,
check.
man.
This is probably the worst we've done because
I feel bad.
It's over. God.
Yeah.
We didn't do anything.
No, you couldn't even have the potential of one.
Uh-oh.
But there you go.
Sorry,
there you go.
everyone.
All right. Well, I think the clocks do go back for Americans next week. So for the vast majority of you, it will be back to normal. But Shane, yeah.
Just post a thing saying what time it starts.
yeah. Well, yeah. I'll help you out with it. But otherwise, let's do some shouts and then we'll let you guys get going. Let's start off with Dodger. Go around that way.
Hello, it's me. I'm Dodger. You can find me at Dexbonus on pretty much everything. This week's probably gonna be crazy because Sam is starting his subathon and it's Halloween and
good
there's a big
luck.
family get together and
To all of you.
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I might be a night streamer this week. We'll
That makes sense.
we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Whoa.
That makes sense.
I know.
Um, Sam.
Yeah.
Like
He's
you're
doing a
asking-
subathon this week. It starts
what's up?
tomorrow.
Thank you,
Go,
Dodger.
go
No one
look
cares.
for it.
No one cares.
Just shut the fuck up.
No one cares.
That TV
No one shows up. He's just sad and alone.
Ted, you would have
Twitch.tv/Strippin.
done his sub alerts by now, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Oh shit.
I'm late. I gotta admit, I'm late on those. But I'll get those done. I'll get those sent across. Twitch.tv/Strippin, everyone. Go and join him for the sub form from tomorrow. He's going to be playing lots of games. I've seen some teasers. Tomato.
Told you it didn't happen.
Yeah,
you
he-
did. Yeah, you did. I was hoping that maybe you were wrong. You did. Twitch.tv/Tomato. Bree Bun.
On Friday, I will be on the front page, sponsored by Monster Hunter, to play the
Whoa.
beta for a
Oh,
while.
shit.
At
Yo.
2 p.m. PT. So,
What time,
wanna
sorry?
come hang out and watch 2 p.m. PT.
Okay, 2 p.m. PT.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah,
That'll be
I'm very excited.
I think 11. No. I'm not gonna try and convert it to my time for
Don't
those
do
people.
it, dude.
I'll just fuck it up for you. I'll
Don't
fuck it up for you.
even
You use the world clock, everyone. Shane.
It'll be 9 p.m. for us, dude.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. So I got it all the way around.
I hate this time of year. You would think I would have like learned which way it moves after 32 years, but I'm still
No,
just as lost every single
messed up.
time.
Nah.
Hi, I'm Shane. I was gonna stream today, and then my schedule got messed up. and
Time
I-
zones happen.
Yeah. So hey, tomorrow I'll do a stream. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll find out.
Oh, gee.
Hello, I'm OLG. Sometimes I do stuff. Most of the time, I just try to avoid my gremlin child, who today was out of control and is right now being a worm in my lap, just gazing adoringly with all the love in the world. And I still kind of want to strangle her. Don't get pets, y'all.
That's
my
terrible
shout-out. Don't
advice.
Get pets.
Get pets.
Get pets. They're
Get
awesome.
pets. Yeah.
Just be fully aware that you will want to murder them often.
Yeah.
Our dog never looks at me like she loves me. She looks at me like there's some sort of
She's
mischief brewing.
Bully.
At all times.
Right now, she's chewing on my finger, just gazing at me like, I love you so much.
One of the most dark sentences that my dog never looks at me like she loves me is so fucking dark. There's a Patreon. Otherwise, I don't know, GTA games this week. When's Dragon Age out? Is it this week? I don't know. Is it next?
It's 31st. Comes out 31st.
Come on, Joe.
So like,
Give us a
okay, so
program.
like Tuesday or
Comes
something,
out
right?
the 31st.
Okay. So yeah, probably that. All right, I'll see you guys for next week's Halloween episode. We don't know the theme yet. We're gonna work that out. So come and by for that. It'll probably be something very simple because we've only got a week. So we'll see you guys next week. Catch you then for Warmsteps. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.